Hello, everyone. Welcome to GirlBoss Xperience Summit. I thank y'all for being speakers tonight, and thank you who all tuning in. Welcome, welcome. I am going to the reason for this summit. I wanted to do something special for ladies and give them opportunity to showcase their business and tell a little bit about themselves and actually become global at some point. Some of y'all are already global, but to give more awareness of your business and what you do. So I am going to read my my topic. I'm gonna do an introduction of why I'm doing the Girl Boss Summit. If y'all bear with me. Okay, the Girl Boss Xperience Summit is a panel of women sharing their business, expertise, knowledge of being a girl boss. This is not only to share business, but uplift, collaborate, motivate attendees into being their best self on purpose while living their purpose, gain knowledge while being authentic and uplifting. Girl Boss, stand up wherever you are on your journey. Let these ladies help guide you with their knowledge of being a girl boss on purpose. Come in the room with the open mind, pen and paper, and let's get this party started. So as y'all know, I have a podcast, and I'm trying to brand my Black to Black. So my podcast is Bodacious Dreams with Radical Faith. And because that's my theme, I want to talk about that today. So I will do that first, and then I'm going to introduce each speaker. And then our first speaker will be Chandra Deneen. How you say it right? Did I say it right? And then we're gonna we have a y'all have the program where y'all know what order y'all are in. Y'all know. Got it. Okay. So let me go to my topic is Bodacious Dreams with Radical Faith. Bodacious means audacious or gutsy. So I mean, it's not just like you just all of that in a bag of chips, but you just got you're willing to take risks that most people wouldn't take. And that's usually entrepreneurs or business owners that they are kind of gutsy. They'll take risks even when they know there's a big risk in doing so. And then my radical faith, I think about radical faith. You believe God will provide whatever you need to be successful in your business, or when you take that leap, then you have enough faith that God's gonna catch you wherever you fall. Also, it's not all, you have to have faith in yourself. I'm radical enough to try just about anything, and I know some of y'all probably the same way. So my faith is in me also, that I can do anything through Christ that strengthens me. So in bodacious dreams with radical faith, dreams that are fueled and ignited our souls. So it propels me towards greatness. I feel like my vision is what we want to achieve, and the aspirations that push us beyond our comfort zone. So my comfort zone is, I'm an introvert, so I don't like to really go out of my way. But when it comes to business, I'm more outgoing. So I want us to explore the power of dreams and how to combine them with radical faith, and can unleash our true potential and lead us to extraordinary accomplishments. I think this on June 15th, I will have made a year with my magazine. I just started a podcast. So I'm proud of myself for just taking the leap of faith, because those even having this GirlBoss Xperience Summit, these are things that I have never done before, but I took a leap of faith and did them anyway. I did them afraid. I'm a dreamer at heart. I always have high expectations for myself, but not always though. So sometimes I doubt that I can do it, but I trust God and I just take that leap anyway. My journey on the outside does not look like the journey on the inside. So I've had some self-doubt, some fear, but I still go out and try to live that dream that I have for myself, for my family, even though I'm leery about what might happen. So if you know, in retail business, you buy products and you can get scammed. So I have had incidents of that, and I still haven't stopped doing that kind of thing, but it keeps me a little afraid, scared I'm gonna lose more money. So you have to keep that bodacious spirit, because you'll back away from what you're trying to achieve if you don't. So I building my confidence up to go after what's mine and the promises of God. And James 1, 2, and 3, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know the testing of your faith produces perseverance. God brings us through it so we can be a testimony of his goodness while walking through with faith that dream will happen. The power of dreams, when I think about it, that brings me joy to my heart, because I'm manifesting the things I want in my life and I want for my family. Yeah, I know you have had dreams that you thought that nobody else would ever thought about before, but you dreamed them and you actually went after it. Like you might want to be an author, you might wanted to write a book, and you actually went out and did that when all else told you not to, but you just did it anyway. So your dreams are mere figments in the imagination. They hold immense power. So when you dream in something and you look ahead and you say, I want this, you speak it into existence and you go after it. Go after it no matter what. That represents our deepest desires and the things we long to achieve and experience in life. Dreams provide us with a sense of purpose, motivation, and direction. When we have a clear vision of our dreams, we are both equipped to make choices and take actions aligned with our aspirations. I have big dreams. I think I accomplished some things I wanted to, but I still have bigger dreams and those aspirations. And don't think I'm not going after them, because I am, because I don't let the naysayers or the no stop me in my tracks. So if you have a big dream and you actually want to achieve it, I say go for it. Don't plan. I always say make a plan though, so you'll know where you're going, so you have direction. But I would say go after it if you really want it. You got to cultivate a bold and fearless mindset. Can help you leave the naysayers behind, going after what you desire. And it's so, but believe that thing. You dream it to achieve it. The purpose of Bodacious Dreams, we must cultivate a bold and fearless mindset. Self-doubt and fear hinders our progress. So I try to lead myself away from that self-doubt and that fear, because that'll keep me from actually reaching my dreams. And if you have self-doubt and something that you're trying to achieve, leave that behind. Don't think about what coulda and shoulda. Just think about what you plan on doing and go after it. I often say my dreams are my future. So I keep dreaming and keep striving to reach those dreams. By acknowledging and addressing those limited beliefs that you have, we can break free from that grip. Embracing risk challenges, because essentially, as they often value opportunities for growth and self-discovery. I discovered a lot about myself after I separated from my husband, that all these things I achieved after I separated from my husband. It wasn't before. I felt like I was hindered more when I was in a household that really didn't support all these dreams I have, because I have big dreams. And so by acknowledging these dreams and these limited beliefs, I went after some of the things that I wanted to achieve, and that has brightened my light. I'm more outgoing. I'm more giving than I was when I was just, just doubting what I can accomplish. You build resistance, allow us to bounce back from those setbacks. So those setbacks, when I actually moved out, I actually was able to live the life I wanted to live when I felt, limited of what I can do. So moving forward, all those bodacious dreams I had, I'm going after. And I'm not gonna let no naysayers, any naysayers, stop me from doing it. And if you have a dream, I want you to go after it too. Let it fuel you. Looking for something you should consider, you should let no fuse to go for what God has promised. So if you have a few for maybe being a bestseller author, and you have self-doubt or don't think that you can achieve those things, let that doubt or that fear fuel you into going after that dream or that becoming an author. When you're setting audacious goals, well, it always allows us to just think outside the box. So I think outside the box often. I'm a dreamer. I think my son is a dreamer too, because I stay and dream. Somebody say, well, that's how you know you're going to achieve that. That's taking a big risk. Well, I'm willing to take it if it's something that I really want. It's a true example of going after it. When you try to deliver what you said and try to always manifest what's in your heart and your mind. If it's in you to do certain things, and after it's on purpose, for a purpose, go after it no matter what. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I can't say that enough, that you just need to always go after your dreams. If somebody don't give you a stage to go on, you make your own stage. If somebody don't help you do whatever that you desire in your life, you make those steps to do it for yourself. You stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone, envision achievements that may seem out of reach. And a lot of times my achievements seem out of reach, but like I said, I'm going to try and try again till I can reach it. I know God has me. He'll catch me wherever I fall. You got to utilize SMART goal settings. That framework means specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant and time bound. Helps us create clear and actionable targets. Breaking those goals into manageable steps enables us to make consistent choices, progress towards that's attainable. Uh, the audacious goal setting, the GirlBoss Xperience Summit, while doing a thing that naysayers thought was not possible. If you desire to do something that I set on for many years, thinking that I can't accomplish that. So today I stopped that scarcity mindset because it would kill my dreams. I held tight to it, and my dreams were just that, a dreams, but still pop up now and then. But I remember I am able to do anything with God's help. Oprah Winfrey once said, be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never ever have enough. It's hard to go through life with blinders on. So take those blinders off. So it's important to take notice of things you do have around you. All accomplishments you have made, things that's going on in your personal life, all that's it's accomplishment when you wake up every morning. So you always have something to be thankful for. Nurturing your faith, radical faith. Radical faith plays a pivotal role in pursuit of our dreams. It involves cultivating a deep beliefs in ourselves and our abilities. Radical faith goes beyond relying solely on our own strengths. But if you have family members, you might rely on them to help you with something that you have going on in your business. Hire your kids, hire your husband, hire your sister, hire somebody to help you uh, in the pursuit of that dream you have going on. Encompass the trust is higher power or divine guidance. And that's God, trusting God to make allow you to do what you put your heart in trying to achieve. By anchoring ourselves in faith, we gain the confidence and courage to overcome obstacles and perseverance in the face of adversity. And as women, we have a lot of adversity. We're not in same category as men, so we have to fight a little harder to get what we want. But I encourage you today, don't let anybody stop you from achieving your goal. If you got looking for a corporate job, you do whatever it takes to get that corporate job. If you're trying to start a business, do whatever it takes to start that business, and make sure you structure that business correctly so you won't fail. And you still might fail, but get back up, because only a loser is the one that quits. So don't quit, just keep going. I done failed a lot of times, but I kept getting back up. And that's what you have to do, keep getting back up. Taking inspired action. Dreams remained unrealized when the power of without the power of action. So you have a dream and you don't go after it, or you don't take actions to achieve that dream, then that's just a lost dream or a failed dream. It has no power. Moving beyond your motivation and taking inspired action propels you to closer to your goals. So I ask you, what motivates you? What gets you going every morning? You need to take that and let that fuel you into achieving that goal you're trying to achieve, or that big dream you have. It requires creating a strategy plan to outline the necessary steps, resources needed to achieve our dreams. Embracing discipline and consistency is key. So I'm always into something, so I'm constantly doing something, because I'm gonna reach that goal I have for myself eventually. It might not come when I want it to, but it's in God's plan, and I leave it up to Him. As I ensure that we make steady progress towards our desired outcome, it will be achieved. I have no doubt that you and anybody that has a dream and they really want it bad enough, you can achieve it. It may take you to inspire, involve stepping out of your comfort zone, trying new approaches and persistence, even when faced with challenges or setbacks, because you'll have setbacks as long as you're in business. Plenty of them. You just have to keep getting back up and trying harder, or doing a different route. Embrace failures and learn the setbacks are just a little roadblock along the way, but you can get back up and achieve that dream or that goal that you were set for yourself. Failure is not the end of the road. It's a stepping stone towards success. Shifting our perspective of failure allows us to view it as an opportunity for growth and learning. So all my failures, I see that as an opportunity for growth and learning. And I had some. And each setback provided me valuable lessons. I don't trust like I used to, just assume that things was gonna happen as they should. I put steps ahead, so I make sure that I get to that goal, achieve that goal. You have to learn. You have to learn from your mistakes and embrace your failures. We become more resilient when we do that, equipped to overcome obstacles on our path of achieving our dreams. Surround yourself with supportive community. I know a lot of times women don't support each other as they should, but we're stronger together. So if we stick together and strive to achieve our goals, with not tearing each other down, but lifting each other up, that's what I'm about, lifting everybody up. I'm not about tearing anybody down. If you know me, you know I'm not about that. A supportive community can make a world of difference in our journey towards our dreams. Surrounding ourselves with positive, uplifting individuals who believes in our potential can provide the encouragement and motivation needed to persevere. Seeking mentorship. If you don't have mentorship, or you don't have a coach, or a consultant to help you in your reach your dream or your desired goal, I suggest you get one. It helps tremendously. And we have some coaches on here today that you can probably find one out of the ones that's here today to help you on your journey. Collaborating with like-minded individuals. I love collaborating with like-minded individuals. It fuels me as well. We share similar aspirations that allow us to collaborate, accountability, and mutual growth. Because we grow when we collaborate. We learn something new from each other. You also heard that your network is your net worth, and that is so true. Your network is your net worth. And also, you have to, when you find your supportive person, you have to remember also collaboration over competition is the best practice. I find it true you will you will or have to collaborate with other people. To build together is a building block for foundations, because you will each bring something to the table. I might have a special skill, you might have a special skill, and we combine together and we can do so much more together. And remember, it's only one you. I can't emanate you. You can't do the same about me, because my way I talk, the way I act is not the same as everybody else. And the way you talk and the way you act is not the same as everybody else. I have ideals, you have ideals. But if we combine them and grow together, what a better world this would be. So let's bring the best game to the ballpark of life. It's a big field waiting on you to score your audacious dream. We got to celebrate our milestones and our progress and cheer each other on and congratulate each other. It's essential to acknowledge and celebrate milestones of your people you collaborate with, people, your co-workers, people you are doing anything with in life. That's family, friends. Why not? Why not congratulate them? Why not pat them on the back? It's not taking anything from you. Celebrating achievements, both big and small, we can reinforce that, and motivation and sense of accomplishment. Regular self-reflection and gratitude practices help us stay grounded, appreciated of the journey. Take your time to recharge. How many of you take time to recharge? Whether it be a spa day, a me time, I always call it me time, to refocus on, allow us to maintain our momentum, ensure sustainable progress towards our dreams. Overcoming obstacles. This is one way I try to overcome obstacles. I don't let no hinder me, because no now might be yes later, or no now means I need to move on to something different till I find my yes. Because it's somebody out there with your yes. So don't let that no stop you from in your tracks. Obstacles are inedible and on the path to achieving our dreams. However, developing problem-solving skills and resilience will help you maintain, empowers us to navigate through challenges effectively, by viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth. So those opportunities, like the Black Excellent Gala I'm supposed to have on tomorrow, that was an obstacle in my life where it didn't go as I planned. But that didn't stop me from not rescheduling and to do it at another date and another time. I don't, like I said, I don't let no stop me. I just don't let other things block what God has put into me to do. I just gonna continue to do it. I'll get it done by His grace. It might not be when I want it, but it will happen. By viewing obstacles for growth, we approach them in determination, and I have plenty of that. And creativity. Maintain resistance, unwavering commitment in my dreams. Oh, I do have that. Ensure that we push through difficult times and emerge stronger on the other side of that obstacle. In conclusion, I wanted to build a foundation for our Bodacious dream require a combination of boldness, faith, action, and resilience. By nurturing our fearless mindset, setting audacious goals, embracing failures as setting stones to success, we unlock our true potential. We all have true potential, just gotta live up to it. God put us all here for a purpose, and we just have to go live in it. Surrounding ourselves with supportive community. And if you don't find that community that's supportive, then that needs you to move on to the next. And that could be family too, because they can let you down too. You got to celebrate your milestones, persevere through obstacles, propel us forward on the journeys towards our dreams. So dare to dream, have a radical faith, and take inspired action. Your bodacious dreams are within reach. It's some things I want you to think about as I close. How do you overcome self-doubt and fear when pursuing your dreams? I overcome self-doubt by just going forward, going after it. Don't let anything stop me. I have that self-doubt, but I just keep on going. I set my audacious goals. I actually write my goals down. I do step by step of how I'm going to achieve them. And it might not go as planned, because I said, you can tell God, this is what I want, but he said he has other plans. So I just let him lead me. How to maintain a motivation and consistency in pursuing my dreams. I write it down and I take step by step. And that's what you have to do. Take that motivation you have for that dream and make consistent steps towards it. It might have a setback, but just keep on going. And I handle my setbacks and my failures along the way by just being a go-getter. I just try to go after whatever I dream about, because you know what? You only got one life to live, and you don't have time on your side. So you need to go and live that dream that you have for yourself. Tomorrow is not promised. What roles I have played in my community, I support achieving Bodacious dreams. I started the NAACP is not the first one, but I started it back, and that's still a challenge. But I have not gave up on that yet. I started a talk show, not even, I don't believe 2 weeks yet. And I did it without having a lot of knowledge on what I needed to do, but I did it anyway. So do it anyhow, any way you can. I'm making a year on my magazine, and I have not let nothing hinder me. Whether if I don't get another writer in my magazine, it's gonna still continue if I have to write for myself. That just means my no from others might be a no now, but my yes is coming. And I thank you for listening to me, and I appreciate your time. Yay. Now I am going to introduce another guest. Up is I just announced you each one by your individually. So the first one is Chandra Denise. No, Denise. You know, I said Denise, girl. I said Denise. You hear that?
Deneen.
Yeah, I keep on messing up your name. Why I keep doing that? But anyway, I'm gonna get off the stage and let you have it.
Wonderful. Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you, Tina, for having me this evening. Y'all, I know we have, everyone's camera is off, but they're the little reaction things. If you can give Tina a round of applause, because listen, it takes courage, it takes boldness to step out and do the things that she's doing. And when she talks about bodacious dreams and radical faith, oh my gosh, amazing. So Tina, thank you for creating this platform for women to come and celebrate each other. I'm super proud of you, because we from the same city, and Silsbee is small, but big things come out of small cities. So thank you so much for not stopping. Thank you for pushing forward with your own dreams, because this is what happens, women. This is what happens when one woman moves forward with her dreams and goals. It gives another woman permission to step into her dreams and goals. We're waiting, we're looking, we're watching, and everyone has an audience. Everyone has someone that's watching you. So tonight, as we are each speaking and as we are each sharing, there's somebody that's watching us tonight that will say, you know what? If Chandra can do it, I can do it. If Tina can do it, I can do it. If Chanel can do it, I can do it. If Tish can do it, I can do it. So every time a woman steps into her authority, every time a woman steps into her position, every time a woman steps into who she authentically is at the core of her being, it gives another woman permission to be her best self. So that's what we're doing here tonight, and I'm super excited to be here. My name is Chandra Deneen. I'm also known as Coach Sean D, and my purpose and passion and call in life is simply to provide information that causes women to move forward regardless of fear, to move forward regardless of fear. And Tina talked about that quite a bit, what fear does. You know, fear holds us hostage. Fear plants your feet in cement blocks and it prevents you from moving forward. And when you are paralyzed by fear, it paralyzes your future because you're being held hostage by your past. How do we develop fear? Fear develops because of experiences that we've had in our past. If we could get past our past, we would be able to move forward into greater success. Your greatest success lives on the other side of fear. So I have dedicated my life, my call, my passion, my purpose is to help women understand that and to realize that where you are and what you're not doing is usually paralyzed by fear. So that's my platform. That's what I talk about. And there are a lot of different things that fall under that. And tonight I told Tina that I was going to talk about the 5 keys to fearless living, but there was a reason why that little voice that lives rent-free inside of my head kind of directed me another way, because Tina talked about the 5 keys to fearless living. You know, how do we overcome fear? We acknowledge it and we move forward anyway. And she is an amazing example of that tonight, that even where she has been fearful, she has still taken the stance that I'm going to move forward anyway. And that is why we're all here. That is what makes you successful. So I'm going to get started and get into it because I'm going to stay on time tonight. I have my timer and I'm going to stay on time, y'all, and get off the stage so that the next amazing boss chick can come up. When Tina asked me to do this, you know, she told me, you know, I want you to be a speaker for the gala. And I'm excited. I'm glad to hear that that is still coming in the future. And then she said, I also want you to be a speaker on the virtual platform, the GirlBoss Experience. And I don't know about you, but with me, when I hear the word boss, it made me cringe just a little bit. Always has. I've always had a thing with that because in my mind, the definition of boss means that, you know, in my mind, I saw someone standing over someone, making them do something, you know, kind of like what we would see on TV, you know, our experiences I've had in the past with jobs where there's a person that's a boss and you usually, sometimes, maybe did not have the best how do I want to say it? The best feeling about the person that was the boss, right? So in that can be some negativity attached to that word. So as I begin to think, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come do it, but I gotta do something in my head to make that word sit differently with me so that I'm able to speak as a boss. And so what I did, I went and looked the word boss up. So I hope you have your pen and your paper so you can take some notes if any of this strikes you or hits you. But I went and looked at, what does it mean? What is the definition of boss? And it gave me 3 definitions. The first definition is a person who is in charge of a worker, a group, or an organization. So, okay, remember what I said earlier, that vision that I had in my head of what that means. So that definition was in line with the negative connotation to the word boss. The second definition said to give someone orders in a domineering manner. Okay, I'm still in line with that negative connotation of the word boss, right? But it was the third definition that made me okay with speaking tonight on the topic that I'm going to talk about. The third definition said to be excellent or outstanding. to be excellent or outstanding. So being a boss means that I move in excellence in everything that I do. Being a boss means that I am outstanding. I am better than the regular. I do not come in at just mediocre, but I am outstanding. You remember me when I walk in a room because I walk in excellence. I walk in with an outstanding attitude, and that is what makes me the girl boss. But then as I begin to think about that a little bit deeper, the only way I'm able to move a room when I walk into it, and as women, we should walk into a room and the entire atmosphere changes because you entered the room. When you walk into a room, your presence as a boss chick, as a girl boss, your presence should be felt. You should rattle the room when you walk in. When I walk in a room, I expect people to say, oh my God, who just came in here? What just happened? Why did the energy in this room shift? Why did the atmosphere change? The reason that the room shifted was because I walked in excellence. I walked in with an outstanding mindset of who I am and what I possess, what I'm able to do, what my purpose and call is. But here's the trick, y'all. You can only get there if you know your value. Whew, let me calm myself down a little bit. You can only get there if you know your value. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about for about the next 10 minutes. It's knowing your value so that you can expand your authority, or so that you can walk in excellence and outstanding mindset. So know your value. There's a saying that says to know thyself. I don't know if you've heard it or not, but to know thyself. And when I hear that, I always think, depending on what day it is, sometimes I don't know who's gonna show up, what Chandra is gonna show up in that day. And I always say jokingly, I said, I bet a man came up with that, know thyself, so that we could tell them how to deal with us. But anywho, but to know yourself. It's not only about knowing yourself, but it's also about knowing whose you are. So you have to know who you are and know whose you are. Now, bear with me just a little bit here. I'm from a preacher background. My daddy's a pastor, and everybody in my family are preachers. And sometimes I slip over into that just a little bit. But when we know whose we are, it changes the way we walk through life. It changes the way we think about ourselves. It changes the way we approach situations. It changes the way we respond to situations. You can tell a woman that knows who she is by the way she responds to certain challenges, by the way she responds to things that come her way. I think about it like this. When you know who you are, you know who is behind you, you know who is pushing you, you know who is giving you direction, right? When you have a pet in my building, I see people all the time walking their dogs. And when we get on the elevator, if someone else gets on, you will hear them tell their dog sit or stay or don't move, or whatever command they give the dog, and the dog will do it. Now, if I were to tell that dog the same thing, the dog probably would not respond to me because I don't own it. I'm not the owner. That dog knows whose they are. So when you know whose you are and you know who you are, it allows you to respond differently in different ways in different situations. So and that's valuable. It's key, y'all. It's key to walking as a girl boss, or walking in the outstanding excellence that you have as a woman. Now, I won't bore you with my personal life story, y'all, because y'all know I can talk about me for a long time, but there were things in my life that happened between the ages of 7 and 13 that resulted in some behaviors that served my life between the age of 18 and 19. There were traumatic happenings in my life that clouded my ability to know who I was as a woman. There were some things that happened in my life that clouded my ability to know who I was as a woman. I don't know if I'm the only one in the house that feels that way, but maybe there's some of you that have had some things that happen in your past that you think you're over. And then sometimes you get into situations and something comes up and it reminds you of your past traumas and it paralyzes you and does not allow you to move forward. That's right. Those are called triggers. Those things that trigger us, they prohibit us from fully walking in the knowledge of who we are. Whew. You got to know who you are. So those traumas that happened in my life, I spent most of my 20s, early 30s searching for answers. I was mad, I was bitter, I was hurt. I walked through life trying to figure out why I felt different. Why did I feel this way? While at the same time appearing normal according to societal standards. I was married, had a great relationship, had two amazing boys. My career was like taken off in the direction that that was good. So by societal standards, I had all of the things that I needed, but I was bitter, I was mad, I was angry because I didn't know who I was as a woman. Into my mid to late 30s, I was still searching. Early 40s, I was still searching. And it wasn't until I started seeing my therapist that I began to understand this. And let's put a pin right there because everyone needs a coach and a therapist and Jesus. You just need those three things in whatever order you want to put them in. But everyone needs a coach, a therapist, and Jesus. Okay, so we go keep moving. So it wasn't until I started seeing my therapist that I understood this. Okay, here we go. Every scar from my past had created a path that led to who I have become. Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time. Every scar from my past had created a path that led to who I had become. I could either fight it or face it. When you are working to know who you are and understand your value, you have to go back and look at some of those scars and decide what you're going to do with them. You're either going to fight them or you're going to face them. Now, if I fought it, I would always be unsettled and would sell myself short of the lessons that it taught me. If I faced it, I could begin the journey to understanding and knowing who I was and what I had to offer the world. Either path was my decision. Oh, that's real good. So I'm going to say it one more time. I could either fight it or face it. If I fought it, I would always be unsettled and would sell myself short of the lessons that it taught me. If I faced it, I could begin the journey of understanding and knowing who I was and what I had to offer the world. And either path was a decision that I had to make. So the first thing in understanding your value is that you got to know what you're going to do with the scars that have made you the person that you are. Oh my goodness, we all carry them. We all carry scars, but it is what you do with them that helps you understand and know your value. And when you understand and know your value, that is when you can enter the world in excellence, in an outstanding mindset, which makes you a boss. I could stop talking right there, and I think I have said enough to set a whole lot of people free and put you on the right direction. But I'm gonna give you a couple of more things, y'all. While we are trying to understand know our authority and show up in an excellent and outstanding way, I'm going to give you three things and then I'm going to be done. The first one, in order to value yourself, in order to know your authority, and in order to value yourself, you must assess who you are. You must assess who you are. Self-assessment. Everything begins by looking within. Everything begins by looking within. Value can only be assessed to a thing that has been evaluated. So you can't assess a value to what you offer if you have not evaluated who you are. Here's an example of that. Diamond brokers. I was at at a retreat. It's been a few months ago, and one of the ladies that was there at the retreat was a diamond broker, and her name was Janet. Janet might be listening because we are Facebook friends. Janet, if you're listening, I'm talking about you. But Janet is a diamond broker. So she began to tell us the value of certain cuts of diamonds. She began to tell us that you shouldn't purchase a diamond that's like this. You should get a diamond that's like that. So she was giving us all this information, even down to how to invest in different companies that make diamonds, right? But here's the key, y'all. Every part of the diamond has to be assessed, evaluated before it can be given a value. It has to be evaluated and assessed before a value can be determined. So the same thing comes with you. Every quirk, every flaw, every weakness, every bump, every groove, what makes you smooth, what makes you rough, all of that is what has to be evaluated and assessed when we start to think about value. The truth is self-assessment is difficult to practice. For women, it is very difficult because the first thing we will do is be critical of ourselves instead of giving ourselves credit in areas where we should give ourselves credit. We will lean to being critical instead of giving ourselves credit. So we got to work on reversing that and give ourselves credit first instead of being critical of the things of our past and of our lives. So if you're used to accepting the good things about yourself and then beating yourself up about the mistakes and the weaknesses that you have in your life. So we're going to work on that. Instead of being critical about everything, we're going to lean into those things that are good about us. I challenge you to write down 5 things that you like about yourself and then meditate on those things every day until you build a different mindset about those places in your body that you don't like. Let me give you another example. I'm dealing with a situation right now. This just came to mind. My arms, you can't see them now because I have a shirt on, but I always wear things that cover my arms because I am always conscious of my arms being big. I said I have arms like my grandma. You know, they the kind of arms that, you know, you see in the memes that say if you have arms like this, you can cook greens, right? So I have those kind of arms, right? So I work to cover them up all the time. Well, recently, I have a health challenge that has come up that is dealing with one of my arms, y'all. And it just blows my mind that I say all of my life, I have been critical of my arms. Like I look at them and I don't have good thoughts when I look at them. And it is the very thing right now that is holding a health challenge that I'm having. So I am working on not being critical. All those years that I've spent criticizing my arms, now I'm trying to rethink that and be more accepting of how I am and how I'm made up. I'm thankful for my grandma arms. They have allowed me to write. They have allowed me to pick things up. They have allowed me to carry things. They give me strength. It's not until you are threatened with losing something, sometimes do you see the value in it. It's sometimes when we are threatened by losing something, do we see the value of it? We don't see the value of a thing until we are threatened with the possibility of losing that very thing. So we got to stop being critical of our lives and critical of those places in our life. And we have to be more complimentary to ourselves. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 more so that I can get off the floor and give it to the next speaker. But the second thing is that we have to acknowledge your true self is the first step to understanding your worth. Acknowledging your true self is the first step to understanding your worth. So self-worth is valuing yourself without seeking other people's validations or the validations of your accomplishments. I hope you wrote that down because that's a real good one. Acknowledging your true self is the first step to understanding your worth. So self-worth is valuing yourself without seeking other people's validations or the validations of your accomplishment. Here's the third thing. When you know your value, you will have the courage to be disliked. I don't know if I have any people on the line that have struggled with that. We always want somebody to like us. You know, like I'm at a point of life where I don't care if you like me, because your care does not stop me of what's going on over here in my life, okay? So sometimes when you know your value, you will have the courage to be disliked. You will stop seeking other people's approvals and desire to please them. Here's a newsflash. It's not your job to make everyone happy. Just stop it. It's just not your job. Like God didn't create you and say your job is to make everyone in the earth happy. Okay, it's just not. It's just not. So stop it. You don't have to make everyone like you, and you must be okay with that, because life is too short to please every person on this planet. It's impossible. So stop it. A good affirmation to go along with that is, I don't care what they think. Here's the next thing. Knowing yourself helps you release self-doubt. The worst thing that could ever happen is when you become your own worst enemy and critic. Self-doubt holds us back from doing amazing things, and it holds us back from giving the world our awesomeness, y'all. It holds us back from walking into rooms as outstanding and excellent. The world needs your most authentic self. The who you are at the core of your being is what the world needs to see. The brilliance of you can only shine after you have released self-doubt and you are walking in your true authenticity. Self-doubt causes us to manufacture a version of ourselves. And we've all heard the saying, and I do not like the saying, fake it till you make it. No, because when you're faking it, whatever is produced out of your fake stage is not authentically who you are, and you are not able to consistently keep that thing up because it was birthed from your period of faking it. No, we're not faking anything. We're going to get in touch with who we are at the core, at the most basic stripped down element. We are going to know who we are, and that is what releases self-doubt. So, and here's one more. I think I have time for one more, and then I'm gonna close. I'm gonna wrap it up. But here's the next one, y'all. Here's the one thing I'm gonna give you: boundaries. Oh my God, it's like a cuss word to women, right? Valuing yourself helps you establish boundaries. The right choices will be much easier when you have boundaries. Sometimes making the decision is hard because our heart and our mind have different stands. Your heart is thinking one thing and your mind is thinking something else. If you truly know who you are, it will be easier for you to follow your true north, the true direction that you need to go, and distinguish what is the right decision for you. Because what's right for you might not be right for Tish. What's right for Tish might not be right for Deborah. What's right for Deborah might not be right for Tina. You have to be so sure of who you are so that you can establish the correct boundaries that allow you to give your best yes. You have to be able to give your best yes. So why are all these things important? Why are all these things important? Your authority in the earth, your ability to show up as the boss that you are, is attached to you recognizing the value of your existence. Your life, your experiences, your shortcomings, your victories, they are all a part of your story. And your story, as my coach said, Cheryl Wood has been my speaker coach since 2018. And she has said this ever since I have first heard her, is that your story is about you, but it is not for you. Your story is about you, but it is not for you. It is to serve as the life raft for your sister. It is to serve as the guidebook through trauma for other women that are sitting next to you, other women that you will come in contact with. It's so that you can start the business that gives women a safe place to exist, Tina. It's so that you are the subject matter expert to a part of life that your sister needs so she can live. So when we talk about being the boss, when we're talking about showing up in excellence and in outstanding mindsets, the first thing to showing up as the boss is to know your authority, is to know your value and expand your authority. That is my time. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope that something I've said resonated with you. I know that something I said resonated with you. It's something, little nuggets that you can take. I'm telling you that if you want to be the boss, here's another thing, and this just came to me, that when you're the boss, let me tell you what happens, y'all. We build bridges over some stupid stuff, and I'm going to say stuff because I'm going to keep it clean. But as a boss sitting in that position, it helps you to build bridges over stupid stuff, and it helps you to help other people build bridges over stupid stuff. But you can't help someone else build a bridge if you don't know who you are. So you have to know who you are so that you can help other people build bridges over the stupid stuff, the BOFF. That is my time. My name is Coach Shawn D. And as I always say, be bold, be brave, be courageous, be fearless. And whatever you do, do it afraid. Until every ear hears, I will always speak. You guys can follow me on social media. I am Chandra Dineen, SHAUNDRADINEEN on social media. You can also follow me at Coach Shawn D Speaks on Instagram as well as Facebook. And Tina has my contact information as well, and I think that she will get that out to everyone that is a part of this platform. Thank you so much. Y'all be blessed. Have a good night.
Thank you. That was wonderful. You know, I know you was gonna come with it. Yes, so it's Jessica time. You ready? You ready, Jessica?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna get off. I was going I forgot to say Coach Shawn D's topic, but yours is surviving a traumatic identity crisis. So
Absolutely.
welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much, Miss Tina Holman, and thank you so much, Miss Shawn, for just speaking. And thank you so much to all the amazing leaders that are here on tonight, the boss leaders that made a decision to not give up. Miss Tina, it's amazing what you're doing with this Boss Summit. It's truly more than us. And I love how you said you're living out the radical faith and you're having bodacious dreams. I love that because that's truly inspiring, even for me on tonight. And I just love how we can have empowerment through the Zoom room and also in person because we need each other. But yes, my topic on tonight is truly trauma, speaking about how to survive an identity crisis after trauma. Think about that. If we all be honest, we've all had a bad time in life. We're not always up and ready to go. We don't always feel like the boss that we were born to be. Sometimes we feel like nothing. Sometimes we just feel like giving up and throwing in the towel. Sometimes we just feel like we're losing our minds. And that's where I was, you all. I want to give you my story. See, I experienced trauma. See, trauma is a deeply distressing event or experience that can cause a crisis to one's identity. Do you know who you are? Do you know where you're going? That's my question for you. Do you know who you are and do you know where you are going? See, because I didn't know where I was going and I most definitely didn't know who I was when I endured my most traumatic experience ever. And that was being abused while pregnant. See, my abuse started verbally and then it got physically. And I stayed in that situation because I thought to myself, that's what I deserved. Why? Because I knew I was disobedient to my God. Yes, I disobeyed God and tied my soul to a demonic force. And I lost my mind. See, when we encounter trauma, it can have a profound effect on our sense of self-worth and decrease our boss mentality. See, we may start to question our identity and who we are, and we may even lose the feeling of disconnect with our environment and our true essence and purpose for living our lives. See, it's important to understand this. We have to understand that this can happen to anyone. It's not just you. It wasn't just me. Regardless of our racial background, our career status, and even our abilities, it does not matter. So how can we survive an identity crisis after we have endured trauma? Because you don't have to die there. You will survive. I want to give you something tangible that you can take from this Zoom on tonight, that you can use even when you're feeling down. The simplest thing of losing a loved one, losing a pet, disconnecting from a friend that you had for years. That's a traumatic experience. You lost something. You may even lose yourself, but you can definitely get it back. I want to give you guys 5 methods that you can start on your own to reach your survival status from your trauma. Number 1, I want you to acknowledge and accept the trauma that you went through. Sometimes it's mind-blowing. I know me, even myself, when I was 25 years old, that's when I experienced that, being abused while pregnant, allowing a man to use and abuse me, and still pay for him to get out of those circumstances of jail and pay for him to get out. I was still struggling with my identity of who I was and who God called me to be. You see, I had to acknowledge that I went through a traumatic situation and that was not normal. See, I thought, well, that's just what people go through sometimes. You know, I see my mother get abused. That's just sometimes what people go through, and it's okay. You know, he called me these words. Sometimes people in my family call me those words. So I started to accept that as my normal. No, you need to acknowledge and accept that what has happened to you is not normal. And we can't change the past. Well, we most definitely can change the future. See, what happened to you in your past, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to get your deliverance. You can get your deliverance. You have to make sure that you know and accept that that is not normal. And after you do that, I need you to seek support from your loved ones if you can trust them. That's your foundation. That's your scapegoat, if you can trust them. I know a lot of people don't understand this portion, not even me myself. I was looking up and I was like, wow, should I share that part with them? Because I have some more parts that I can share. But no, go to your foundation first, because sometimes maybe that would be the first part that you go to if you have someone that you can trust. Because a traumatic event can lead to long-lasting psychological and emotional wounds. So seeking professional help, you can also get a therapist as well. So if you can't accept anyone in your family, if you cannot trust those people in your family, you think they're gonna go run off and tell your business? I know I feel the same exact way. Get you professional help, because that's what you need. You need someone professionally to assess your situation and assess you to help you catapult to your vision and your dreams. We have work to do. And what you can get just a regular counselor as well, or a support group that can be added to or a valuable part of your recovery process. This is going to help you to rediscover your identity, because your trauma can change your sense of self, but it doesn't mean we have lost your entirety. Use your experience as an opportunity to grow and self-discover yourself. Try new things, pursue new hobbies and interests, increase your skill set. Because I know after that traumatic experience, I went back to school. I got my degree. I increased my skill set. I became certified in pharmaceutical science. I did those things to increase my self-worth. I went back and accomplished those goals that I just let fall from the wayside. Things I stopped caring about because I felt, well, I wasted 5 to 10 years getting my degrees. No use in going back to get it, right? No, you can go back to get it. There's never an end to the road. There's always the galaxy waiting on you. It's never an end to the road. And another thing that you guys can do to overcome that trauma is rediscover your identity. You're going to do that by getting that self-help, getting you a counselor, professional help, and also building a foundation with relationships from people. And after you did that, I need you to practice some self-compassion. Think about that. I believe we are our biggest critics. We are our biggest critics, and it's normal to feel overwhelmed at times, especially during an identity crisis. So you need to practice that self-compassion by being kind and understanding towards yourself. Avoid that self-judgment and self-criticism, and give yourself the time and space you need to heal. We don't give ourselves time enough to heal. I know I did. See, my trauma response was flight. Flight is you're just so busily consumed with doing things. I need to get this goal done. I need to get that goal done. I need to work 12-hour shifts to get my account back up. I wasted all this money on him. He stole money from me. I need to get this back up. I need to boost my self-esteem by buying me some new clothes. I need to get that car I wanted to make myself feel better. I didn't allow myself any time to heal. So you know what I did? I had to waste another 5 years of my life and not be where God wanted me to be. So I was within 5 years, my son was 5 years old, and I still didn't feel like I wanted to be a mother. Why? Because I was neglecting the fact that I had postpartum depression when I was pregnant with my son. That postpartum depression, I did not heal from that. So after that 5-year span, I went back to the doctor. I got evaluated. I had a psychological evaluation. And during my psychological evaluation, I saw out what was wrong with me. I had depression and anxiety. I got assessed and I got medicated. See, everyone's healing process is going to be different. Some people say, well, I just prayed to God about it. I just went to my counselor. Great. But as for me and my body, we had a chemical imbalance. I had to get medicated. That was my story. So whatever your story is, don't feel embarrassed about it. And please don't let someone tell you how to heal. You can feel it yourself, but do not live in denial by any means. Surviving an identity crisis after trauma requires your patience, your self-awareness, and a willingness to seek help. You cannot do it alone. We're here on this platform tonight because Miss Tina wanted us to align ourselves together and know that we can inspire and uplift each other. We don't have to do it alone. I know you're great, baby. I know you've done a lot of things. I know your skill set is not the wazoo. I get it. But you cannot do anything by yourself. You are better in a collective unit, way more than you are alone. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And remember, the healing process takes time. As I said, the healing process, not the healing step. It's not one healing step, it's a healing process. It takes time. And enjoy your process. Don't hate it like I did. That's why I didn't want to endure it. I did not want to do the work. I did not want to break down and cry and truly identify that I am the reason for my misfortune. I am the reason why I went through that abuse. My accountability was low then, but now my accountability is oh so high. My accountability is oh so high because I got accountable and I start doing the work. I start working on myself. I was not afraid. Afraid. Do it again. To know that you are not alone. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I am Jessica James Henry. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Jessica James Henry. Let's stay connected. As I just said, we need each other. And remember to be gentle with yourself and start now. Start right now because you have the power. You have the power to survive and thrive after your trauma. Be blessed.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Yes, Chanel, you want me to read yours? You got selfless love and purpose.
Yes, thank you, Tina, and thank you for having me on. Welcome to all of our guests, and I'm privileged. It is an honor to be among so many amazing panelists right now. Everybody is powerful. So I was going to talk about purposeful living. And as I heard the first three, Tina, Jessica, and Coach Sean, it inspired me as well to just go ahead and tell my story about selfless love. So first of all, I want to just say that I am Coach Chanel Budd. I am a perfumer. I make handcrafted perfume. I'm a 5-time author. I am a podcast host and a relationship and self-love coach. My story about selfless love is when you have a family, a marriage, and everything, and you're raised in environments that are just the hood. And I'm gonna just keep it 100 tonight. When you're raised in the hood and things like that, you grow up a certain way, right? And people don't realize that your environment does impact your future. It impacts who you are. And sometimes you have to put on a personality that is not truly you just to be able to survive. So when I was younger, I had dreams, I had visions. I was a visionary very, very young. And so I always knew that I wanted to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, a clothing designer, all of these great things. But through life, the enemy came and he started to make me feel through trials and tribulations and circumstances. He started to make me feel as if none of that was ever going to happen for me. And I always wanted a beautiful home, a family, children, and things like that. But I didn't know how it was going to be. So I started to honestly feel like it was. And one day, I decided after having a child and being with my daughter's father, I decided that being in that environment was not going to be where I would birth all my gifts. And of course, that came through trials, tribulations, moving, the ups and the downs, the storms. And so when I decided to move is when God started to talk to me even more so and say, Chanel, I still have these things for you. And I started to seek God more. I spent more time praying and trying to heal from the things that happened to me in my past. And so selfless love was birthed through my journey of being married, having a husband who was diagnosed with heart failure, cardiomyopathy, and also raising our child and trying to figure out life, work-life balance and all of the things that the corporate world wanted from me. So mine's became a therapeutic process. So how I birthed my businesses and everything came through me reflecting and praying and seeking God and believing in what I believed in his promises that he had for my life. So I started to see Jeremiah 29:11 a lot. Way back in like 2015 is where it started in 2016. And I was still a little, I was still in the phase of I always had a relationship with the Lord. My mom, my grandparents, and everyone raised me up to know the Lord. And I started to seek the Lord more, but I started to see the signs and the miracles and the wonders. So mine was the signs. And when I started to see it all the time, I started thinking like, okay, I'm seeing this a lot. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you. And that's to give you a hope in a future. And so that's what stayed on me consistently throughout my life. And it still does, amongst other scriptures and other signs and wonders that God shows me. But one thing that is pivotal for me was the fact that I wanted more as a teenager. I was pregnant at 17, had our daughter at 18. We were in and out of our relationships and things like that. But we ended up coming back together and trying to build a family, but we had to uproot ourselves from the environment that was killing our dreams, that was killing what we seen or wanted for our future. And so in doing so, when we got here from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Dallas, Texas, it's been 20 years now. When we got here is when we got to reflect and see all of the toxicity that was there between us. We both were broken. Both of us were toxic, right? And here I am, and here he is wanting to raise our children different. But how do we do it? And not only that, with selfless love, God showed me how to love, agape love, how to not see us for who we are in our present state, but to see us beyond the flesh. That's the only way. And so I always loved myself. I always had self-love, right? But it was diminished because of all the things that happened in our past, the traumas and, the storms and the upbringing, the drugs. The drugs and, the alcoholic stuff and the gang stuff and losing friends and losing family, all of those things, it almost made us feel like there was no hope. But God and seeking God was the thing that helped me and still is. That is my foundation till this day. That is how I was able to birth my businesses, and love my family. And so when you think about selfless love, a lot of times people think of selfless and they back away from it, right? Because you do have to have boundaries when you say selfless love. It's not to be taken advantage of or anything like that, but it's truly to love yourself enough and know who you are. But then once you understand who you are and you do the inner work, like our other panelists have spoken about, when you do that inner work and start to understand and know who you are and trust God, He will show you and He will lead you and He will guide you on how to love other people correctly, His way, which may be for the people that you're showing this type of love to, it may be foreign to them because they've never had it. So this is the first time they're ever being shown that type of love. And sometimes they'll shun away from it because it's not what they're used to, right? And so I trust God and I gave Him the lead. I surrendered and said, you show me how to love my husband. You show me how to go into this job and do my work and do it diligently, right? Like we're supposed to do, even though they are a mess at the job. Show me how to love your way so that I can understand, because everything that happens in life, it happens through relationship. No matter whether it's your spouse, your children, your family, your coworkers, us bosses, the networking, everything is a relationship. And to love God's way is ultimately the key. But to have the self-love, to know your self-worth, all of it. He was diagnosed with cardiomyopathy and he had a heart transplant, Mother's Day of 2018. He passed away June 11th of 2021. We are now almost 2 days away from his second year. And I am sitting here right now on this panel intentionally because I do have self-love and I do have purpose. And I am here for my calling, right? Because it's about building and having a legacy and sharing with other people how to get through. Storms and trials and tribulations and distractions are all going to be there. They're going to be there. You take the good and you take the bad, but you make the best out of what you have, but always believe in you. Always in God. So that is what I have for you all. Self-care is key. Walk, journal, meditate, do the necessary things. They are necessary. I don't want to go into the self-doubt and the fear because these boss ladies killed it, okay? I just want to let you all know that it takes loving the inner you, believing in yourself, and believing in God. But never give up on you. Never give up on what God has for you. There are gifts deep down inside of you. And sometimes they become buried. They're buried because the enemy doesn't want us to get to what God has for us. So believe in yourselves. Yes, get the counseling. Yes, get the coach. And yes, always God first. Seek God first. Because He's within us. And we can't do any of this stuff without Him. Going on in this world, we have to stay focused. Use your discernment. And if you don't have it, pray for it. Seek God, He'll give you everything you need to accomplish what it is that you need to do while you are here. And one of the things that I am certain for is that I'm building a legacy, not only for myself, but for my children, my nieces, my nephews, my parents, my husband, great grandchildren that are not here yet, and great greats and those to come. I am building a legacy, and it's all on purpose. I am Coach Chanel Budd, And you can follow me on Facebook under Chanel Rosebud, Instagram, Chanel_Bud, Woman Who Encouraged. And if you are interested, or if anybody's interested in cologne and perfumes, you can go to selflesslovefragrance.com. I do have a nonprofit. It's called Selfless Love and Active Beat, and it's in honor of my husband and every transplant recipient, caregiver, and the donors as well. And that's selflessloveactivebeat.com. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you. That's one. I know your story, and I'm thank you for coming on and telling your story. It's so wonderful. I need to. Who's next? That I think we have a break. So I thank you, Jessica. I thank you, Coach Shandi. I thank you, everyone that has spoken so far. I appreciate you. I don't have my camera on, y'all. I thank y'all for speaking. Y'all brought it. Y'all gave us a lot of jewels, a lot of things to take back and think about and apply to our lives. And I appreciate y'all so much. Now we're gonna have a little break so you can go stretch your legs, get you a bite to eat or whatever, and then we'll come back on with Deborah Hamilton. So it's break time. Next, I don't think I had it on where y'all could hear the volume. Could y'all hear the volume?
No, I didn't hear.
No, ma'am. You had to turn the microphone on.
Okay. Well, next, I was gonna let Deborah speak. Deborah, you want to speak now? Come on.
That's fine. That's fine. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here. You're talking about some boss women tonight. You guys are absolutely amazing. I am so glad to be here, to be in this type of environment with all you wonderful women. And tonight, I want to talk about the unheard wife, how to be heard in your marriage, which is so crucial. A lot of us are married, and a lot of us can struggle in our marriage. And I just want to introduce myself. I am Deborah B. Hamilton, your relationship and intimacy coach. I am CEO and founder of Nurture Your Love, and I'm an international speaker as well as an author. I have over 40 years of marriage, so I have experienced a lot. And my mission is to empower married women and couples struggling with emotional connection, learn how to prevent drifting apart, to be heard, respected, and desired so they can have deeper intimacy in their love lives. That's a lot, right? But that is my goal. That is my mission in life. The thing that I want you to think about is understanding who you are. And a lot of people talked about this tonight. So I'm just really excited to also be a part of talking about understanding who you are. And communication is the key, two of the keys to resolve any issues that you could have in your relationship. And the purpose of my presentation is to put your mind to the space, in the place where you want your marriage and your love life to show up. And that's a Trevor Ott quote, and I love this quote. Again, my talk today is the unheard wife and how to be heard in your marriage. And some of you are struggling and some of you not, and some of you can also enhance your relationship. I don't want you to think that everything is totally negative. You can always enhance your relationship. And marriage and relationships are the hardest thing that we go through in our lifetime, right? And there's so much struggle and pain in relationships. And some of you have already talked about that tonight, some of the things that you've gone through. And most of us know that the average American marriage has only a 50% chance of lasting. And I don't think any of us want to be a part of that statistic. And let's talk about what can cause that statistic, right? What could cause us to go through the things that we go through. And I just want you to meditate on these things. And one of the first things is you go to bed at night feeling hopeless, right? You start drinking more, eating more to just dim that pain that you're going through. You stare at the ceiling at night, trying to figure out what to do, right? You're numb, you're shut down, and you're not having any conversations. And then you feel misunderstood. Just the thought of another conversation, it can be just too much, can be just exhausting, right? And your needs are not being met. Will it ever get better? That's a really good question, right? That sometimes that's what we ask ourselves. And you're dealing with the pain of feeling unloved, unwanted, unheard, and unappreciated, right? So if one of these things is resonating with you, I call this an unheard wife. And many years ago, I was there. I was an unheard wife. So you're not alone. And there's a way to fix it. And you don't have to do this by yourself. And I want you to really get that. You don't have to do this by yourself. There's a way to fix it. And it's easier than you think. And I just want to go into a little detail about what happened to me several years ago. You know, I was feeling this way. I was down in my basement and I was listening to music. And actually, I was listening to Luther. And I know that some of y'all love y'all some Luther, right? I know I do. So anyway, the song, Anyone Who Has a Heart, came on, and it just was like, bam, it was like, I really feel lonely. I am lonely. Think about that. Married, yet lonely. And that's a powerful statement because I know I'm not alone. I know that some people have felt the same way I felt, that you're married, but yet you feel alone, right? That you're lonely in your relationship, right? And so I just was feeling like my ex-husband was not seeing me. He was not accepting me, right? I felt his lack of appreciation. And, you know, I was taking care of the kids. I was doing everything with the family. I made sure everything was being handled. I know y'all can relate to that because as women, we're always responsible for the majority of things that happen in the household. And that was part of me feeling like I was being taken for granted, right? And I needed affection and I wanted to be touched. I wasn't getting it. I wanted to feel special. I felt isolated. And the questions start coming up, right? Like, why doesn't he acknowledge my feelings or my needs or take any interest in me? Like, why doesn't he see me, right? Why doesn't he see me? That was my question, right? And the truth is, I felt numb, right? I felt lonely. No conversation, no humor, no jokes, just everyday words. It feels like he's not interested in your life, what you have going on. You're feeling like you're just roommates and not marriage mates. I know some of you guys could probably feel that way as well. And you've tried to explain so many times how you're feeling, right? And he's not getting it. And then on top of that, you see the sadness in your children's eyes. Who wants to see that, right? You're trying to hide it. You're trying to act like nothing's going on, nothing's wrong, right? And you don't get the fact that it's truly affecting your children. It's affecting them. And the guilt of it all is consuming and you just don't know what to do, right? And this went on for years for me. And the struggle of figuring out who I was and what I wanted in my marriage was really hard to come by. However, this was the beginning of my journey. This is when I decided I had to make a change in my relationship, in me, right? This is when I knew I had to do something to save me, right? As well as my children. I didn't want my children growing up seeing a miserable mother. Who can relate to that? No one wants to have their children think that they're a miserable mother. And I didn't want them to grow up thinking that if this is what marriage looks like, I don't want to have any part of it. So guess what I did? I took action. I took action, y'all. And I want y'all to think about that. It took me years to understand what I needed to do, right? I learned the tools that I needed to change the dynamic of my relationship. And the key, which is so many women so far tonight have talked about, is I had to love myself, right? I had to understand what my needs and my wants were before I could do anything, right? And let's talk about how that's why some people get stuck, right? Stuck in their relationship, stuck because they don't know themselves. They don't have a clue who they are. They have not taken the time to dive deep within themselves, and especially with someone's guidance. I know several people talked about getting a counselor, going to therapy. All those are really great. And of course, having a coach that's been there, done that, right? That can guide and lead you. And the gurus will tell you, make sure that you are really communicating with your spouse, as well as trying to avoid communicating when you're both tired or stressed. I agree with that. However, I say, learn you. Who are you? How deep do you really know yourself, right? Again, that's the theme of tonight. How well do you really know yourself? If you don't know yourself, how do you know what to ask for? And that's one of the main questions that I ask my clients. How do you know what to ask for if you don't even know who you are? So how can you know what to ask for? How can you know what to do if you don't really know yourself? And that's some of the things that I want you to think about as I'm going through this talk. And so if you don't know yourself, then you don't know what your needs are, what your wants are, what your desires are, because you have to dig deep within. And Maya Angelou says that when we know better, we do better, right? I agree with her. And so let's talk about the things we do when we're struggling. Come on, y'all, follow along with me, hang in there with me, because we're going to talk about 3 things that we do that when we're struggling and we don't know what to do. And one of those things is we talk to our family and friends, right? We talk to them, we share our thoughts, we tell them what's on our mind. And, some of that is great that we have someone we can lean on. However, were you truly honest with them? Did you tell them the whole truth? Because we have a tendency to talk about things that's going on, but we might talk about more about what he did versus what we did, right? Y'all know, feel me. I know y'all feel me because we do that, right? And the other part is, who you talking to? Are you talking to your single friends who don't know really what it's like to be married? Or are you talking to your miserable married friends? Y'all hear me? Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, because misery loves company, right? So when we do that, we don't get that they want us to be miserable with them, right? So the next thing that we do when we're struggling in our relationship is that we decide to go to couples therapy. And there's nothing wrong with couples therapy. However, couples therapy can be really painful. Ask me, I know, been there, done that as well, right? So couples therapy can work, but you have to think about what's going to take place when you go to couples therapy, right? One person can be doing the work and the other person can be doing the blaming, right? And you have to be vulnerable, and you worry about what that person is thinking about you. You worry about what is going to come up in the conversation, and you wonder if you're going to even be able to handle it, right? And you also feel alone in that experience. That's what I went through. And it started off with, if we fix Debbie, then everything will be okay. So my ex-husband talked for like 45 minutes, y'all, 45 minutes. And it was what I did, what I didn't do, what I said, what I didn't say. It was all these things, right? And I'm sitting there going, wow, this is what my husband thinks of me. So it was a very hard experience that I went through. And then the other thing that we do is we go and we talk to our spiritual leader. Again, nothing wrong with that. If you have a spiritual leader that you want to talk to, and that spiritual leader is helping and guiding you and leading you, and you feel comfortable, great. However, some of us might feel like, okay, what are they going to think of me if I tell them the truth? Because let's be real, y'all, we don't tell people that we might have cussed our spouse out. We might have thrown the shoe across the room at them. I mean, how truthful are you? And then you're gonna worry about, are they gonna judge me for those things that I talk about? So believe me, all these things I've been through, and they are awkward, right? They are so awkward. But that's why I'm so passionate about helping you in your marriage. I love helping women and couples in their marriage. I am great at helping you to understand the real you. We talked, several people talked about that tonight as well. But I help you learn how to understand and heal yourself to show up in your marriage. And I have three pillars. One is understanding the real you. The other pillar is understanding him. And then the third pillar is effective communication. I'm just going to briefly talk about understanding you tonight because of the time constraint. And it starts with understanding yourself, understanding your blind spots. We all have them, but most of the time we don't even think about our blind spots, because what are we doing? We're pointing fingers towards the other person rather than pointing fingers at ourselves and understanding our true self to be able to resolve issues within ourselves, right? And we need to figure out what we want, what we need, what makes us tick, right? And what could be causing us to not articulate our desires, our hopes, and our dreams, right? We have to figure out what that looks like for us, right? Before we can articulate that to someone else, right? And working on yourself can be so powerful, so powerful. You can learn the real you and honor yourself, because everything starts with you, right? And when you know who you are, you don't need anyone to tell you. Coach D was talking, Sean D was talking about coming into the room, being powerful when you walk into the room. Well, when you know who you truly are, that's what you can do. When you know who you are, you don't need anyone else to tell you who you are. You already know that. So you can show up strong. And then when you know yourself, you can show up strong in your marriage. I'm so sorry. I'm draining you guys, so bear with me. And so once you truly understand yourself, you're going to push back those shoulders, stand up straighter, right? Hold your head up high. You're going to say, I'm important. I matter. And when you do that, no one can touch you because you've done the inner work. And that's where I come in. I help you do the inner work to help you build up yourself, to help you be that confident person that you've always wanted to be, but didn't know how to navigate or didn't know how to get there. And that's where I come in. And that's where I really want to help you see how important you are, how amazing you are. You just need the tools to get there. And excuse me. And once you get to this point, then you will know what you want. You will know how to ask for what you want. You will finally feel like you're being heard. And ladies, you get to decide. You get to decide what success looks like for you in your marriage, right? There's the easy way and there's a hard way. And I hope that you choose the easy way by making the decision today that I want to change, that I deserve change, and that I deserve better. However, it starts with me. And that's what I want you to realize. Everything starts with you. And when you change the way your spouse sees you, right? And when you show up confident, the relationship can change and he will see you differently. And women, we don't understand the power that we have in our relationships. We have so much power, but we have to prove to ourselves that we have that power to show up, right? And so I want you to understand that when you do those things for yourself, that you will no longer be the unheard wife. You will be the confident wife. And that is what I want for you. Excuse me. So I'm very interested in spending more time with you. And if you're ready, and I mean really ready to make the changes that you need to love you and understand the real you, join my Confident Wife group program that I have. And I want to tell you that you can follow me at it's on my Instagram under Nurture Your Love, and in my bio, it has all the different links to connect with me on all the things that I do in my business. But I just want you to understand that you are powerful, you are wonderful, you can be and do anything you want, but it takes you understanding yourself first before you can move on to anything else. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. I hope that you appreciated what I had to say, but always remember you're important and you are a child of God, and he will help and guide and lead you through everything that you need. And so that's it for me tonight, you guys, and thank you.
Well, thank you, Deborah. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Next is Antoinette.
Can you hear me? It told me that my video won't start. I don't know what to press. It says that the host has disabled it. So what should I do? Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you? Thank you for being here. Thank you, Tina, for inviting me and having me on the Girl Boss Summit. My name is Antoinette Logan, better known as Ask Miss Logan. I am the CEO of the AIM Agency. We're a creative agency that focuses on brand development and lead generation strategies, taking our clients from idea to brand, brand to business, business to elevation and profits, pretty much meeting you where you are to help you achieve your next level business goal. I also have the Iconic Speakers Network, which is a community and a all-in-one speaker success toolkit to globally expand your brand utilizing my PPP strategies, which is what we're going to talk about today. PPP is being podcasting, public relations and press releases one in the together, and presenting, public speaking, like what we're doing here. Back in May of last year, specifically, actually the end of April, I was experiencing some difficulties on my own end in life and business. And I was like, I really need to get in front of my target audience. It was really difficult to say, let me just start a brand new product, a brand new plan, and wait until that, pops. So I was like, no, I have to actually get in front of my audience where they already are ready to actually buy into whatever it is that I'm selling, which at that time was the branding and things like that. So I was tapping into OPA, other people's audiences. I utilized public speaking, which was which was the podcasting, doing events like this, regular interviews, TV interviews, things like that. Anything that was basically you utilizing your voice to tell people what it is that you do, how you do it, where you do it at, and how they can connect. So it was really, really, really easy to actually get clients to hear me and know if I could help. When you start talking, a person should be able to know if you know your stuff or not with whatever the thing is that you do. So in less than 90 days, I had spoken on more than 300 platforms. And that is really how we built out this PPP strategy platform with the Iconic Speakers Network. To do this, it's actually very simple. You're going to want to have your media kit, which should consist of your headshot, your bio, social links, things of that nature. And then you're going to also want to have a publication, meaning somewhere that a press release was published on you. So you could have done a press release on your own website, and then it got picked up somewhere, or did a press release where it was distributed directly to main media. Either or will work, because you want them to be able to see the publication in a way that is not from you talking about you. So when you do a press release, it's not going to be in a way that it's me talking about myself. There's a thing that I always say, what Sally says about Susan is more than Susan could ever say about herself. So you definitely want to have that. And then I also use my Linktree, which is a place that, they can quickly get to everything. Now, of course, your website is great, but your website is going to be more in detail than a Linktree. Your Linktree or something like that is going to point them right to where you want them to go, because, you're utilizing the specific places that are most important to your brand on your Linktree, versus when you're on your website, there is everything that you need them to know. So it's kind of like that bite-sized info, which is why that Linktree is much, much better. And I'm forgetting the fourth thing. What else did I use? My media kit, my publication. Oh, And I had a headshot that was not in the media kit that I also sent. So the reason why these 4 things were important, because these are the type of things that media platforms want from you to even book you. So let's just say I'm reaching out to Miss Tina to be on the Black to Black show, and she doesn't know me, has never heard of me. If I send her a message stating, "Hi, how you doing? I'm interested in being on your show," and right behind that, I'm sending the link tree, the media kit, which has the bio and all those things, the headshot, everything that she needs to book me. Even if she doesn't know me, 9 times out of 10, in my situation, it was a 10 out of 10 because I never got turned down. Not trying to bump my horn or nothing, but I think it's because of the information, not really because it's me. Because anybody, if you show them that you are ready, my nickname used to be Ready Red. I used to be a rapper and a singer, so I'm always ready. If you stay ready, you don't never have to get ready. But if you're ready, they're 9 times out of 10 gonna say yes. So that is really the bulk of it. Now, moving past the things that you need to make this happen, let's actually talk about the places where you're gonna make this happen at. You're gonna create your own podcast list, your own list of different organizers who are constantly having events. And I don't want to say constantly, because you can have someone that has an event once a year. That doesn't mean that that person isn't valuable, because that person might have their own event once a year, but they may be participating in many other events with other people all throughout the year. So you're gonna want to create a list. As you can build this list as you're ready to pitch to them, or you can build the list first and then go back once you've built a nice list and then go back and start pitching. Or you can go to the Iconic Speakers Network. It's actually the word "the" in the website, theiconicspeakersnetwork.com. And then you can join my program, and you don't have to wonder how to do any of this because everything has already been done for you. I'm talking thousands on top of thousands on top of thousands of media platforms that are ready to accept you on their show. And then we also have an Iconic Connections list, which are media platforms who have said, because you are an Iconic member, you don't have to go through the middleman. So let me tell you what I mean about the middleman. And it was kind of crazy because with the AIM agency and Iconic, I'm all about everybody knowing that you are the icon. You know, we gonna treat you just like we would treat these celebrities, and people get so excited about all the people that's on TV. Do you get excited when you go and see the cashier at Walmart or at Popeyes or McDonald's? Because that's their job. These celebrities, that's their job. So you are the icon, right? So what we do is we cut the middleman out, because we want you to feel the same way that they would if they were bringing, I don't know, Obama or Oprah or somebody on their show. No middleman, no meet and greet. Let me see if I want you on my show. None of that. It's literally the click of a button and you're right there booking your interview instantly, just because you're an Iconic member. And that's just one of the many, many benefits that comes with it. But utilizing this PPP strategy is actually very simple and easy. You don't have to leave your home, and you don't have to hire a publicist. Because I'm going to tell you something, hiring a publicist is not a cheap thing. A real publicist that has great relationships in media, they're going to charge a nice amount of money for that, because building those relationships took a while and it wasn't easy. And they probably went through a few things to have to get those relationships to the place of where these publications trust whoever they bring to the table. We can publicize, and we don't have to fact check and back check and go look at resumes and bios and blah, blah, blah. So, and then there are platforms where sometimes people actually had to pay money to even be able to get you on these platforms, like their own fees. So that's the real reason why this particular PPP strategy works very well for people like you and I, who are business owners running our own shows. We're really like not trying to, I don't know about you, but with me, I'm not trying to just throw my money out the door as soon as the money come in. I'm actually counting my coins, every last one, pennies included. And I want to know that where it's going, I'm going to be able to see some form of an ROI or an SOI. And I say SOI because that's my social return on investment. Because sometimes it's not about actually getting the money that you spent back. Sometimes it's about building your presence and your visibility and the following on your social media and things like that. So there's a ton of things that I could share in regards to branding, public relations, media, and things of that nature. But we are at a point where our time is almost up. So I do want to have you connect with me on Linktree, linktree.com/Ask Miss Logan. Everything is there. I also have a nonprofit that I did not mention, which is the International Icon Inc. And International Icon Inc. is all about helping you with your own business, informational and advocate and awareness events, and also honoring leaders, impact igniters, and change makers around the world, in the United States and globally, with the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, as well as the Global Icon Award. So if you have your own community of people that you would like to honor, as well as yourself, and you're deserving, you can contact me. We would partner within our GILA Award program and actually present those awards to you and your community. If you're in New York, join us coming in July for the first inaugural GILA Awards at the Millennium Hotel. I thank you all for listening and joining tonight with all of us and the amazing women and speakers on this platform. Ms. Tina, you're so great. Thank you for having me, and it has been a pleasure. Again, my name is Antoinette Logan. I could be reached at Ask Miss Logan on all platforms, linktree.com/Ask Miss Logan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You gave a wealth of information. I hope they took notes.
Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful comments. I see you all. Thank you. And I love to connect with each and every one of you as well.
All right. Thank you. Next is Tish, right?
This thing won't come on. Hey, I'm here.
That's yes.
I am here. I am here. Thank you so much, Miss Tina. Thank you so much for having us today. I'm so excited to be on this. Oh my goodness, all of these speakers, y'all are wonderful. I'm just sitting here taking notes, you know, go girl, I hear you. All of those good comments. I love every bit of it. Every one of you dropped some jewels that could help us as well as all of our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Tish Wright, the Married Moms Master Coach, CEO and founder of TFK Best Life Coaching Services. I am also a transformational speaker and author, published author of Your Husband and Kids Can Wait. It's 7 effective strategies to avoid burning out. So today, and also I am a married mom. I just want to put that out there too. I'm a married mom's master coach. So today, the title of my talk is going to be Married Moms Making Moves, Life Beyond Burnout, They Can Wait. Life Beyond Burnout, They Can Wait. And I say they can wait. Of course, this stemmed from my book, Your Husband and Kids Can Wait, but I say they can wait. I mean, any and everybody that's trying to redirect you from your dreams, from your hopes, from your aspirations, from your business. We are boss women. We are boss girl bosses. You know, we are all bosses in our own right. So anybody that's trying to deter you from your dreams, make them wait. They can wait on you. You know, we do a lot. We do a lot, okay? As moms, women, first of all, as wives, we do a lot, and we do a lot for other people, you know, and we usually put ourselves on the back burner, whereas though we come last. And that ain't cool. That ain't cool. We are tired. We get tired too. Look, I'm tired right now. Really, I think this is Central Standard Time, but I am Eastern Standard Time, and my bedtime is at 10:30. I'm tired, but I showed up, right? Because that's what we do. We show up. We show up. We're so used to showing up, but sometimes we need people to show up for us, right? And we need them to show up for us by understanding that we need our time, by understanding that we have hopes and dreams and aspirations, by understanding that we want to be great too. You know, we have our kids to look after. We have our husbands to look after, our mates, you know, our family. You know, we're being stretched. We're pulled in so many different directions, which leads to burnout sometimes. you know what? I wasn't even going to go into my story, but hearing the stories from you wonderful women tonight, I have to speak on it because I have to let you know what I had to go through in order to get beyond the burnout, right? So it was a time in my life where I was doing so much. I prided myself on being the best mom, best wife, you know, soccer, football, whatever you name it, I was doing it, right? So at one point I broke down, right? I didn't even realize what was going on because I was just so used to having my hands in everything. And a lot of times, again, we set ourselves up for failure, right? Because we want to have our hands in everything. We want to be a part of everything. We want things done the way we want to be done. That's just how as women, I mean, I can admit it. I know I'm not the only one. So I ended up getting burned out. At one point, I was in the bathtub almost every night with a bottle of wine. And I can't remember who mentioned this, but it's almost like you're trying to drink away the pain. You're trying to drink away the problems. You're trying to make them better by not, you know, really facing it. And that's what I did. I was drinking my wine every single night. Now, I love some wine, but the way that I was drinking it every night, I was trying to cover my burnout. I was trying to cover my pain. I was trying to cover the fact that I had lost myself. I had lost myself. So I had to make some changes. I had to get the proper help. I had to see a doctor. That's number one. I had to see a doctor because I'm one of those people, my family and friends will tell you, I'm one of those people that I'm always in control. I have to have control, but I started losing control and that scared me. It scared me so bad that I knew that something was not right because I did not have control of my body. I didn't have control of what was going on with me. I didn't know what was going on. But come to find out, I was diagnosed with depression. I was depressed and I didn't even know it. So we have to take the time and make the changes in order for us to survive, because we're not going to survive out here trying to do everything. We can't be everything for everybody because we're going to have nothing left for ourselves. That's number one. We cannot do that. We are bosses. So we're doing the work with our families. And on the other hand, we're trying to build a business. We have our careers. We're trying to take care of ourselves too, with the little bit we have left. But we cannot constantly do that kind of stuff and burn ourselves out. We cannot do that. So starting today, right now, if you're listening, if you have experienced some kind of burnout, or if you're experiencing it and you're going through it, or this sounds similar, or you know somebody, today is the day we stop. Today is the day we let them wait. We let them wait because we need time too. And for some reason, it's so hard for people to understand that women need time too. We need time. We need time. We need time for ourselves. We need time for our dreams. We have bigger dreams. We want to be great. We want to do all the things that we're cheering our husbands on to do. We're cheering our kids on to do. They're enjoying that life. They're living their best life. But we're not, because we are part of them living their best life and not living our own. And that's where we mess up. We have to make some changes, ladies. We have to, especially if we want to build upon our business. We want it to skyrocket. We want it to be up here. But we're playing small because we're too busy playing big in everybody else's life. We're playing small in our own business. We're playing small in our own life because we're too busy trying to be the biggest part of everybody else's life. And no, that's it. That's it. We cannot do it. We cannot do it. You're not going to make it. You have to let them wait. You have to let them wait while you work on your life, your business, your career, your dreams, your mental stability. You have to make them wait. They can wait. They can wait on you. You have to work on yourself spiritually and physically. A lot of times we hear stressed out and we get to gain and weight and all that because we stressed out worrying about what the next person needs instead of taking care of our own needs. So we have to get beyond the burnout. We have to get beyond the burnout. The only way we're going to make it there if we say, you know what, give me a minute. Wait a minute. I got things I want to do too. I have to work on myself too. I can't continue working on you and not on me. So we have to make them wait in order to get to our next level. We have to make the moves for us. And it's not selfish at all. It's not selfish, it's self-care. We have to take care of ourselves first. Oh, wait a minute, there's a bug in here. So today, I'm not going to be too long, but today I want to share with you ladies. Hopefully this helps somebody, at least one person today. I want to share the top 3 things that I do, that I have been doing that's continuous in my life to stay beyond the burnout. Because a lot of times we hear things like, it's people sitting here right now, they're going to hear what I'm saying, or they're going to hear what the other speakers have said. They're going to write it down and then they're going to sit it down. But you know what? You have to do the work. Only you can do it for you. And then don't go out here blaming nobody else because you put it down. Pick it up and do the work. So the top 3 things I'm going to say is, number 1, focus on you. Focus on you. The number 1 focus should be on you. I keep saying this. I say this all the time. You are the most important person in your life, and you need to start acting it as such. Act like you are the most important person in your life. At the top of that list should be your personal fulfillment and your self-care. Your personal fulfillment and your self-care. You have to do the things that you love. You have to do the things that make you happy. You have to do the things that bring you joy. You worry about making other people happy. They're not worried about making you happy. You have to know what makes you happy. As I heard another coach say, I wrote some stuff down, but I can't dig in it. But you have to know what makes you happy in order to tell somebody else. You cannot sit there and think somebody's going to make you happy because they can't do it. You're supposed to make yourself happy. Other people can contribute. Yeah. So do the things that make you happy and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Me time. I know Miss Tina mentioned this earlier and I was yelling and screaming. Y'all couldn't hear me. Me time. I'm a huge advocate for me time. Me time means so much to me, to the fact that it's a part of my natural born life. It's a part of my life now, and it is never going to stop. Because it helps you. It helps you relieve stress. It helps you just be by yourself. It helps you learn yourself. It helps you think without other people being involved. And I always tell people to do me time, and I'm so surprised. There's so many people in this world right now that has never had me time, who thinks it's crazy, who looks at me and say, what? How you do that? How you go somewhere by yourself? Because I love me. Because I love to spend time with me. That's how I do it. So an example of me time that I have, I tell a story all the time. Example of me time that I've done. I go to the movies by myself. Look, this is a great example. Going to the movies by yourself. I went to the movies by myself. I had a big bucket of popcorn, right? Big. Look, I don't even eat carbs like that. But guess what? It's me time. I'm going to do whatever I want. So I had a big bucket of popcorn. I had 2 drinks, so I wouldn't have to get up. I had candy. You know, I'm just, ooh. And then whenever I go to have me time, and whenever I go to the movies by myself, I go see like a comedy movie or stand up, something like that, family movie, something that's going to make me laugh. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the movie theater. I got my popcorn. I got my drinks. I'm set up. I'm ready. Movie come on. I'm in there laughing like I'm the only person in that place. I'm telling you, I'm laughing. I'm slapping my leg. I'm crying. I mean, I'm so loud. I didn't even care who was in there. Hopefully they wasn't worried about me because I didn't even know they were there. I was focused on me. It was my time to bring some joy to my own life, and I did that. I didn't have my husband reaching in my popcorn. I didn't have my kids asking me for more money to get snacks. No, it was the focus is on me. So you have to learn to bring the focus back on you, and you have to learn to spend some quality time with yourself, because you don't know what else to, how you gonna know what to do if you don't even know you? You have to be fair. I'm gonna say that again. You have to be fair, and it starts with you. Number 2, I call it the balance act. I call it the balance act because you have to have balance, but and act like you know what's going on. Act like you know what you're doing for real. So you have to have balance and act like you know what's going on. You have to have healthy balance, though. You have to have healthy balance in your life, your relationships, your business, and you have to be intentional. And I'm gonna say that again. You have to be intentional in your life and in your business. You have to be intentional in your life and in your business, because we sit up here, to give an example. You sit up here and you're a business owner, you're a boss girl. You say, I'm going to work from 9 to 5 today. But then you turn around and you're still on the computer 12 a.m. at night, still working from 9 to 12. That's not intentional. That's how you burn out. You have to have balance in your life. You have to be there. If you tell your husband you're working from 9 to 5 and we going on a date at 8, you have to be ready to go by 8. You hear what I'm saying? Because you intentionally told your husband that's what you were going to do. You have to do what you say you're going to do. And again, with your kids, make that time with your kids, the bonding time. You cannot spend, and look, building a business, I know it's hard. I know it takes a lot of work. I'm doing it myself. But you still have to have balance in your life in order for things to work, because you can't put too much over here and leave a little bit over here. That goes back to me talking about the burnout. That goes back to me talking about being everything for everybody else. And I'm taking from here and putting here. That's the same thing with your life and in your business. You have to balance it out. You have to set up some bonding time with your kids. Set up that date night you're supposed to set up. Set up some couple time on the side, have that balance so things can work out in order for you to thrive in your business, in order for you to thrive in your life, so there will be less conflict. And I'm not saying it ain't gonna be conflict, because it is, but you can make things easier. I'm all about making things easier now in my life. I don't have time for no drama. I don't have time for no confusion, and I don't have time for trying to figure things out when they come up. I like to have it balanced. Time management, you have to have time management. Use your resources. So balance act is number 2 on my list. And number three on my list this is the most important for me, because look, one thing I'm going to do is this. Number 3, live your best life. That's number 3. Keep you beyond the burnout now. You have to live your best life. Your best life. Live your best life. And when I say live your best life, you live it unapologetically. Somebody said it earlier about not caring. When she said that, I screamed, because guess what? I don't care. Somebody put your comments on. Somebody microphone on. Live it unapologetically. Build your business. That's a part of living your best life. Whatever your best life look like for you, do that. You cannot keep settling and being like, I'm gonna do it later, or I don't have time, or you got time for everything else. You will have to miss some events. It's okay, they can wait, it'll be other ones. You're gonna have to miss some events, because you have to get to a place in your life where you're living your best life and doing what you need to do and what you want to do for yourself. You work on your personal development. You know you ain't right. You know you ain't doing right in your life. Work on it. Dig deep. Take time. Again, like somebody else said, meditate, journal. You have to work on yourself, your personal growth, because otherwise you're going to be stagnant, and you're not going to be a boss of nothing, not even yourself. So you have to work on your personal development and celebrate your wins. That's huge for me too. Celebrate your wins. Even when nobody else is clapping for you, you better celebrate your wins. You better, any small thing that happens tonight, you are on the GirlBoss Xperience. You better celebrate tonight, because you showed up. You showed up for yourself. If you're here as a speaker, you showed up to give some jewels, to drop some jewels, to help somebody. If you showed up and you're one of the people who's just a spectator, you showed up to get some information that could possibly help in your life, you better celebrate that, because you made a choice. You made a choice to be here. You hear me? You made a choice to be here. That's a win. You could be doing anything else. It's a Friday night. It's 10 o'clock at night. You made a choice, so you celebrate that. That's a win for you. You're going to, like I said, you're going to miss some stuff. You're going to miss some stuff. And they can wait, because it'll be more coming up. I just had my book release. I told you my book I just dropped. I had a book release party by myself. Hello? I was in this office where I'm sitting at right now. I decorated. I had balloons. I even had champagne, okay? I I popped a bottle. I had music playing. I'm in here dancing like a. If ain't nobody going to celebrate you, you better celebrate you. And that's a part of living your best life. You don't dim your life for nobody. You are a boss. You are a boss. And if you have these 3 strategies that I just said, and you continuously do them and work on yourself and work towards where you want to be at, you'll go so you will be amazed about how, you'll be amazed how far you get in your business. You'll be amazed at how far you get in your life. And you will be amazed at how, I'm not going to say careless, how much you don't give a you know what anymore, because it's going to be about you and you're going to be focused on what you're supposed to be focused on. And then you know what, you can get back to them and what they need. And I'll always say this, I'm not saying neglect your family. I would never say that, but you have to be in order yourself. You will have nothing to give to that family if you are burnt out. Take care of you first. It's okay. It's okay. So this is something that I want, if you can, if you want to write it down or not, you know, because you can't be everything to everybody, and you have to teach people how to treat you. You can't, you just have to, you know, and you have to stand by it. Set your boundaries. Like, come on. So this is a quote. If I can wait on you, you can wait for me. This is something you should say. I don't know if you want to say it to the people, say it to the person. Somebody trying to pull you away from your dreams, your destinies, your business. They see you building. They want you to keep hanging out and stuff. You know I'm building a business. You're trying to pull me out of my zone. You know what I'm doing. If I can wait on you, you can wait for me. And that goes from anybody, the kids, the husband, the family members, the friends, look, even co-workers. Y'all have to wait. I have things to do. I'm trying, look, it's not about you, it's about me. And that's what people don't understand, because they get in an uproar and feel like you dissing them, or, you know, we ain't friends no more, or you ain't being down. No, if that's what being down with you is, that I can't work on what I'm working on, then I guess I ain't no more. And sometimes you have to break ties in order to build your business and be that boss that you're trying to be. This goes for everybody. Boss women, boss men, whoever. You have to continue to work on yourself to get where you want to be at. And sometimes, and a lot of the times, things ain't going to go how you think they should. And it's okay. They can wait. Either they're going to wait, or they can go ahead. And I'm being honest. I'm keeping it 100 right now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Either they can wait, or they can go ahead. So, like I said before, teach people how to treat you. Live your best life and be the best possible person you can be in your life and in your business. You are the boss of your own life. Again, you are the boss of your own life. And once you become the boss of your own life and you move beyond that burnout and you're living your best life, you can be the best boss of your business and anything else that comes after that. So that's all I have tonight. I thank you all. I'm Tish Wright again, the Married Moms Master Coach, CEO and founder of TFK Best Life Coaching Service. You can follow me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Tish Wright. Instagram, I am Tish Wright. I have YouTube, Tish Wright. You can also purchase my book on Amazon. Put it up here. Is Your Husband and Kids Can Wait? Is a self-help book. You can purchase it on Amazon. I'm going to put the links in the bio. And also, I'm having a 5-day challenge for moms and wives. There's a mom and wife power up that I'm doing at the end of the month, June 26th through the 30th, to strengthen your relationships with your husband or your mate and your children. It's a power up. So I'll put all of those links in there. So thank you again. And as I always say, you better live your life. Thank you, girls.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's wonderful. We're supposed to do music next, but it's kind of late, so I'm thinking we can go to the next speaker, which is Leslie.
Hey everybody. First and foremost, thank you, Tina, for allowing me to be one of the speakers tonight. Thank everybody. I want to thank all of you for all of your knowledge that you have brought forth as well. And tonight, I wanted to talk to you guys kind of about a personal matter that happened to me, but actually ended up being life-changing. And what it was is I went from being depressed and suicidal to living my life, and now I'm thriving. And so going through something like that, it really changes you. And I liken it unto having a near-death experience. And if I hadn't gone through something like that, I wouldn't have learned the strength that I have within me. I wouldn't have learned how to like truly enjoy life to the fullest. I wouldn't have been able to really get rid of the stuff that was making me feel bad in the first place. So it was like I had to go through something like that, and I had to be emptied out in order to be filled again. And something that I have learned along the way is that if you don't deal with things, they will fester. And they might fester in different ways, whether that is through stress, whether that is through you getting some sort of sickness or chronic disease, or in my case, it was through me being severely depressed and actually planning out my suicide. So I'll tell you my story. In 2017, I was broke. I was broke and I was hustling. I moved out of the country and then back into the country. I was dealing with like family issues. I ended up having to move back in with my parents. And even though I was very grateful for that, I still felt like a kid. I felt like I was failing. Had a job, got fired from it. I was driving for Lyft and Uber, and I was just tired. I was utterly exhausted in every way, shape, and form. And I was also frustrated when it came to like my relationship with God, because I was like, listen, I'm fasting, I'm praying, I'm going to church, I'm tithing, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. Where are you? Like, have you guys ever felt like that before? You know, that Tamala Mann song where she's like, I'm all churched out. That was me. Oh, that was me. Lord knows. And so I basically gave God an ultimatum. I told him, listen, I'm giving you 1 month, just 1 month, to make me feel less like dying. Otherwise, I'm going to take my life. And I was actively planning it. Like, I was serious about it. I was planning out my suicide notes. I was planning on where I would be. I didn't want my family to find my body. Like, I was very serious. But because I grew up in church and because I grew up with, like, I don't believe I would go to hell for this since I've been begging you, but just in case, let me ask one more time. And so, what I did during that month was I listened to a lot of spoken affirmations. I would listen to them on a loop while I was sleeping all throughout the day. And sure enough, within 30 days, I felt less like dying. Now, I was still depressed and I was still suicidal, but the pressure had come off just a little bit so that I could feel like I could make it through, right? And so over the next couple months after that, I was able to get a good job and I was able to go to therapy. And what I learned through that therapy time of being in therapy for about a year and a half changed my life completely. And these are the tips and tools that I want to share with you today, that if I hadn't been suicidal, I wouldn't have learned them, right? So what I learned is that it was okay to be angry. And I need to unpack that just for a little bit. So I grew up in a very strict church. I grew up with like, we were the ones like skirts all the way down to the ground, like no pants, no jewelry, no makeup, everything is a sin, you going to hell sort of thing. That's a whole different pack of words like that you have to like deal with. And I grew up with a father who had anger issues. So he was never physically abusive, but he was a loose cannon and he was definitely emotionally abusive to my mother. And their fights would just be like epic, and how he would follow her around the house and all this stuff. I also grew up with a mother who was like, don't tell anybody what's going on in our house, not even your little friends. Don't let them know anything. Also, I grew up at a church that was super strict. So you have strict church, family issues. Don't talk about your problems. Don't talk about your pain, and then, I'm curious and I would question. I'm like, well, what about this? And it's like, oh, you think you're this, you think you're that. It was a lot of be quiet, do what I say do because I said do it, but they weren't seeing my pain. So I learned to perform. I learned to smile when I was super sad. I learned to smile instead of cry and be like, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's okay. It's okay. No, I'm good. I'm good. But I was dying on the inside. And I didn't realize until later that everything that I did, like I chose a school that was far away. I chose a study abroad program that was far away. I chose everything that was as far away from my family and the church that I grew up at as possible, because it was when I was away that I felt safe. And when I was away, I felt better. And then when I had to move back home and I had to move back into all of that, I finally had to deal with stuff. And it sent me into depression. So when I finally was able to go into therapy, what my therapist taught me was how to deal with my pain, tell me that anger was okay. Anger is a secondary emotion. It's the alarm. It's the one that's saying something is wrong. Either you're hurt or you feel disrespected or something's going on in there. And so what you need to do is basically say, you know what, anger, thank you. What are you really trying to show me? And because I had a dad who, who would just freak out, I did not want to be angry at all. I was like, I am fine. I'm good. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm amazing. It's like, no, honey, you're angry. You're angry. So I was able to deal with my anger. Therapy also taught me how to mother myself, how to listen to myself, how to allow myself to have temper tantrums, how to heal not only my pain, but recognize my mother's pain, my father's pain, understanding the generational things that were going on within my family. Therapy taught me how to set boundaries. And it was the most transformational and traumatic experience when I started setting those boundaries. What happened is I lost an entire friend group. I lost an entire friend group because my best friend at the time turned people against me because I put up boundaries with her. Where I was like, no, I'm not accepting this bad behavior anymore. No, I'm not going to let you treat me like this anymore. No, I'm not going to be your punching bag anymore. And simultaneously, as I was setting these boundaries, as I was getting more confidence, I was starting to do better at work. I was starting to set boundaries with my colleagues. I was starting to be like, you know what? I started to have strategic no's. I wasn't going to be available for every project. I wasn't going to stay super late. I wasn't going to do all these things that could send me backwards. And what ended up happening with that is the more I said no strategically, the more I did better. I started getting promotions. I ended up working my way from being an admin to being head of the marketing department within a 3-year time period. Like, what? Yes, yes, it happens. It happens. All because I went to therapy, all because I started healing, all because I was depressed and suicidal and sought help. And now that I'm looking back on that, that was in 2017, it's 2023. Let me tell you the good things that have happened. I no longer am around people who want to use me or harm me. I have set firm boundaries with my family, and they keep them. They didn't like them in the beginning. And especially like my family is originally like from the South, it's still yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. In my family, I have no problem respecting them. But now they see me as an adult and not a little kid. And now they're just like, well, we know you're not going to do that. So I'll go ask somebody else. And they don't mean it in a mean way anymore. They're just like, okay, well, I guess I'll go ask this person because they know that they've already over asked. And I'm like, no, I will not babysit this child for the 15th time today or this week. Like, this is not my child. Like, I love you, nephew, but I'm not doing that today. There are other babysitters, you know? Um, what has happened is I got more friends, better friends. In 2018, I met the man that became my husband in 2019. As I said, I got promoted. And then when things at that job were not what they should be, when I was dealing with some harassment as well as some microaggressions, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own company. And I did. I started my company, Lily Rose DMA, which is a digital marketing agency. Shameless plug, you guys should, if you need marketing services, I'm the woman for you. And I went to them and I said, hey, I want you to hire me. And, they were my first client. And not only did I get like the big company, but I got 3 of their subsidiaries. So 4 companies that I was able to walk away with, saying, I'm not going to be here anymore. I am going to make my own hours. I'm going to be the entrepreneur that I always wanted to be. Right. Being suicidal, if you've never been there, if you've never been that depressed, you might not understand this, but the way that it changed me is I went to death's door and I opened the door and almost walked through it. I had that near death experience, right? But when I turned back around, I was changed. And what happened to me was that once you get to the other side of depression, once you walk through hell and you get to the other side, you learn how to live again. And this time I'm living healed and I'm living happy and I'm living whole. And so I am a big advocate for therapy. I'm a big advocate for boundaries. I am a big advocate for, just living your cuss word life, you know? And so I am also very big on telling people that if you have lost someone to suicide, if you can find it in your heart to accept the fact that it wasn't because they didn't love you enough that they left, it was that they were in so much pain that they couldn't stay. Like these are things that I teach people, and these are things that I talk to people about. So my thing right now for everybody listening is that one, you need to learn how to do a couple of things in your life for the rest of your life. One, you need to heal any past pain. You need to go to therapy. You need to make sure that you are not going to continue on a legacy of the hurt and the pain that your family caused, right? To you. Like you need to nip that in the bud now for your kids and just for yourself as well. Two, you need to learn how to experience all of your emotions and understand that all of them have a reason and a purpose in your life. And three, you need to learn how to brag on yourself, baby. You need to learn how to say all of the great things that you are doing for yourself. You need to be able to say, hey, I'm going to brag on myself today. I'm going to talk about what I want, and I'm going to talk about, what I'm grateful and I'm thankful for. And after having my near death experience, I'm able to do that. So now, when things get tough, now when things don't go my way all the time, I have the tools in my toolkit that I learned from being depressed and suicidal and therapy that I can go through my checklist and I can mother myself, whether I'm mothering like the little girl in me that just needs the hug, or if I'm mothering the teenager in me that just wants to rage and just like, I hate this, and you're just like, all right, calm down, you'll be fine. I now know how to live an amazing life because I was taught how to do so from this experience. So I just want to encourage you guys to continue to go after your dreams, continue to believe in yourself, continue to pick yourself back up if you can. And also, don't be afraid to ask for the help that you need, because you are just one person. And yes, I'm a believer in God. And yes, the church is great, but I'm gonna be honest, like there are therapists for a reason. So it's not just taking it to God in prayer and putting it on the altar. You also need a therapist to tell you what's wrong, like, and give you practical steps to help you, because you are spiritual, but you are also a human and you need both. Like I said it and I mean it. You need both. So that is what my experience taught me. And that's my talk for today. I hope that it inspires. And if you guys, couple things, if you're looking for anybody to give any more talks, I usually do marketing talks and I also do motivation like this. Here is my information. It's in the chat. And if you're looking for somebody for marketing consulting as well as strategy services, you can follow my business, Lily Rose DMA, as well. I hope you guys have a good night, and that's it.
Thank you. That was good. Thank you, Leslie. All right. Next is Matthew. Is Matthew still on? Yeah.
Hey, here I
Yeah.
am. Here I am.
Okay.
I had to wipe my tears, y'all. All y'all just got me in tears over here. Whew, let's see where to start. So I will be talking. My topic and title is "She is Legendary." So first, I want you all to give your self a round of applause because you all have made it through quite a few storms, and most people haven't even gotten there. A lot of us, and I always say this, we as women, because I am a women empowerment coach. I coach women that's been through domestic violence and sexual assault how to heal and empower themselves and become who they're meant to be in this life, because I tell them that life is only for a moment. You get one chance in this life to be who you are, to do the things that you want to do without letting someone else live through you. So it is up to you to be who you want to be in this life. So you have to encourage yourself. You have to motivate yourself. You have to empower yourself. You have to let go of all of that baggage and let go of all that hurt, that pain, that trauma, and move on. Learn how to forgive. And the most important thing is learning to forgive yourself, because it all starts with you. That self-care, that self-healing, it starts with you. You have to be able to lift yourself up. So I run a women empowerment group where each woman motivates each other. So it's like a sisterhood. So now you're not alone. You have your sister standing next to you, lifting you up if you're down. And I want to thank Tina for inviting me to speak on this platform. I wear many hats. I am a marketing and advertising consultant and strategist. I help people build their brands, get credibility, visibility, and it all starts and goes back to that healing. So I run Santana Global Magazine, Santana Global Marketing, Advertising, Santana Global Photography, Videography. Coming soon, probably in 2025, Santana Global Funeral Home and Crematorium, and hopefully be a realtor soon. But it's all about self-care and doing things that you want to do, and expanding and learning new things about yourself. It will take time when you're learning something new. You don't want to rush the process. And Eve, it goes back to healing. You don't want to rush that process of healing, because it does take time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And by coaching all these women and hearing the different stories, it all starts with you. And that's why my topic is "She is Legendary," because I have ran across so many women that have so many incredible stories. And I tell them all the time, like, I wouldn't tell you something that I, myself haven't been through. I've been through that heartbreak. I've been through breakups. I've been through domestic violence. I've been through sexual assault, molestation, you name it. I've been there. And as I'm on my journey to greatness, I'm healing and I'm learning to forgive and, things like that. And being raised by all women, that has become my ministry and my network. So every time a woman comes into my life, it's, either good or bad. I have to go with the flow because everything that I go through is for me to handle and let everybody know that, what I've been through was a test for me and a testimony. But now it's time for me to tell that to somebody else, because it's time for you to start healing your process. It started to you to get to being who you are. Like, all the storms are not bad that you're going through. It's all about that journey that you're on. And those obstacles sometimes come to help you grow and elevate to the next level. And I'm glad everything that I went through has helped me grow and learn, and it's all because, if I'm feeling down, a woman in my group would automatically, oh, let me text Matthew something encouraging. Like, they know when I'm down or if I'm not right. One of the ladies called me just earlier before this call. She was like, I seen you the other day and your spirit looked broken. And I had to think about that. Like, I had to really go back and think, am I broken? What have I, recently went through that will cause me to be broken? And I had to think, like, I'm coming to you right now in a place of brokenness. A lot of people's like, oh, you're smiling, you're happy, but there's something deep inside that was holding me back. And I had to figure it out, and I had to evaluate what I was going through. And like I told you, I wear many hats. So I had to put all the business stuff aside and focus on Matthew. I had to focus on me. I had to take a breather. I had to relax. And that's what, we all want to do. Is, if we're broken, we can't help other people. If we're going through something, because if you are broken and you're helping somebody else, you're not doing anything but really bleeding on them. You might give them the wrong advice or the wrong tips. And, they take that, then their lives in disarray. So it's all about healing. So before you speak or think something, remember who you are. You have to stay calm, collective, get yourself together, because you are great. You are going to do great things. And that's what I have to keep telling myself, that I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing. I am, going to get to where I want to be in this life. Because once it's done, once it's over it, that's it. So I'm making this count right now. And that's what I want you all to do, is basically empower yourself. Know that you can do it. Everything that happens in your life is not meant to hurt you. Everything in your life is meant to test you. Everything is going to be a test. Like, God has not put you here and left you. He's standing there right beside you. And I am a living testimony. I was born 1 pound, 3 ounces, and I use this as my second chance in life. Every day is another chance. Like, as long as I still have breath in my body and I'm in the land of the living, I'm going to help anybody that comes my way, because I feel like that's my purpose. I found my purpose. I found my destiny. And what am I going to do? I'm going to walk in it. And I feel like I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking in my destiny. I'm doing what I am supposed to do. So many women contacted me and say, you changed my life by the books that you've written, or the different speaking engagements, or the different things you do for women to empower them. And that's what I want to do, is motivate you. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, it's all about who you want to be now. Take a moment and think, who am I? Where do I want to go? And get to moving. Don't stay parked. Don't stay stuck. Keep on moving. Pick yourself up. I am strong. I am bold. I am beautiful. I can do anything that I set my mind to. And once you get those positive affirmations going, you start believing that. You start to believe in yourself and know that you can do it. You are going to be strong. Each one of you are legendary. Some of you I don't know, but I do follow, and I want to get to know each and every one of you, because you are all great in everything that you do. And you got to just keep on going, keep on believing in yourself, and know that you can do it. And it's just amazing just hearing a lot of you all stories. I was just over here behind the camera just crying because I felt it, not just you in that moment, but just hearing it. It was just very visual for me. I felt what you went through. I felt every hurt, every pain that you went through. And I'm just over here in tears, just trying to pick myself up off the ground because you went through it and you healed from it. And that's why I was crying, because you made it. You made it through every obstacle and every trial that was trying to break you. You did it. And I want to say congratulations to you all because you did it. And it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to say, I'm broken and I'm not gonna cry. I'm broken and I need help, you know? And that's the thing where most people start to realize, like, it's okay. We are going to make it. We can do this. But I know for a lot of people, just thinking like, oh, I can't forgive that person. Oh, I can't move on. Like, it's time for you to get up out of park and move on. We got to let those dead relationships lie. We have to let all the people that wronged us live their life and move on. I know it hurts. I've been there. I know it hurts, but it's time to get up and move on. Life is only for a moment. We get one life to live. We have to keep on walking in our purpose, walking in our destiny, and living our truth. It is time to stop apologizing. It's time to basically unapologetically live your truth. Be who you are. And like Coach Sean D said, do it afraid. Like, do it afraid and keep on being you and motivating yourself, because I believe in you. Even if nobody else believes in you, I don't have to know you to believe in you. I can see it. I can feel it. And I know that you can do it. So keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on being bold. Keep empowering yourself. Keep on being beautiful. Keep on being you unapologetically. Keep on living in your truth. Don't let anyone discourage you, because only you know who you are. I am strong. I am bold, and I can do whatever I set my mind to. And as an entrepreneur, we all have been crazy with projects, and everything's get overwhelming, but we forget who we are because we're getting lost and then focusing more on the business, or we forget our spouses and don't pay attention to the signs and different things like that. But now it's time for us to open our eyes, because time, we're all on borrowed time. We have to live our life now and keep on going. And remember that you're never alone. God is on your side. Just keep on going. Keep on believing in yourself. No matter what, you all can do it. And I say this all the time to women in my nonprofit, Infinite Power Project, that we as women, yes, I'm a man, but we as women have to keep on believing in yourselves. Like, you see the next sister going through something, don't, go tell the next person, oh, this is what such and such is going through. Go grab your sister by the hand and lift her up and tell her she can. It's going to make a difference. It can change somebody's life. So I want you all to keep on being encouraged and be empowered and know that you are legendary. You all have a story. It's time for you to tell it. Let the world know you are unstoppable. So keep on doing it. Keep on believing in yourself and know that you can. That's all I got for you. So if you want to know more about Matthew Santana, you can find me at santanaglobal.com, the service desk at santanaglobal.com, where we help you with marketing, advertising, photography, videography, coaching, business mentoring, you name it, we do it, except dancing and drawing. So if you need me, Matthew Santana, feel free to Google me.
All right, thank you, Matthew. That was good. And he also the one did my magazine. He helped me start my magazine when I started. It's been a year and on June 15th. So Matthew is a good guy. So next is Sunny. Come on up.
Greetings, 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 queens and king. After following all the stories, how in the world do I get to end out tonight's GirlBoss Xperience Summit? This is amazing that everyone you have heard tonight has a story. Every one of us had a story. We all started as a young lady, a young man with a vision, a goal, and had bumps and hurdles along the way. And we're here to share that with you, that if we got through it with God's grace and mercy, you can get through it too. So who am I? I am Sunny Poncell. I'm $1 million top producing real estate agent from Oklahoma City, and also working with relocation teams with Your Unique Home Team with Ariston Realty. I'm a podcast host for Neighborhood Jams with Sunny Poncell. I'm a 3-time best-selling author. I'm also a brand partner with the legendary Matthew Santana you just heard. So I'm a brand partner for Santana Global and a media specialist. I am the editor-in-chief of the G Magazine, which I'm on my 7th edition under the leadership of Santana Global. I'm also a life coach, a certified speaker, an innovator, and MC. So who is Sunny? You know, this lively bubble person, you know, raised up in Oklahoma from Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana. I call it baby LA. You know, some people like it, baby LA. Well, what's the initials for Louisiana? LA. So as from baby LA, raised in Oklahoma City most of my life, I am married to my middle school, high school sweetheart of 20 years, will be 22 years this September. Coming up, but I've been knowing him for 34. Have 3 beautiful children, 2 on foot, and 1 with wings. And so I'll kind of share with you how I explain that. And so graduated with some college experience. While growing up, I wanted to know and find my way, just like most of us do. You know, you're going through this life as a youngster, as a high school graduate, got your things together. I was finished with school by noontime and working 2 part-time jobs in the afternoon. So it was one of those, I was always on the grind trying to keep myself together. Well, while I was going through my time, I didn't know I had a praying mother who was keeping God's prayer and blessings over me, right? And so I would later start forming a relationship with God. And I think all of us can contest that you may be in church, but are you serving God? Or are you just an active member of the church? You got to be about the business. And I'm not just talking about inside the 4 walls. You got to step outside the walls as well, because that's really where the church is. So reach out to your people out in the community, right? So in high school, I was this young lady who was just loud, just rambunctious. My husband tell me now, you can't even whisper. I can't too. I don't need to be talking loud, or I don't have to be whispering. I need you to hear me. And so I would later understand that I would have an encounter with God. Yes, I was in the church. I was on the singing choir because I love to sing. And so as y'all was saying certain things, I would go and pull out a verse or something or another. So, you know, someone said, encourage yourself. I went to singing, encourage yourself in the Lord. So it was just one of those things. I was just over here in my own little world, but still listening to every speaker that had come forward. And so in high school, like I said, I was this loud mouth talking lady, popping gum. You can hear me coming around the corner. That's Sunny coming up the hallway. So, you know, it was one of those things that I had a loud mouth. Okay. So I had a dream of being an attorney with my own office on the top floor. You know, you had those visions, those dreams, those goals of, hey, I want to be the Devon Tower. Let me just use that as an example here in Oklahoma. It's about 40 some feet, your floors or so. So I would see myself in that top layer where I could see over the whole entire state. And that was just amazing and impressive to me to see that. But I used to watch Law and Order as well. So as I began to take this journey, this path, and become a graduate of high school. I would start my life as a married person at the age of 26. I would marry my high school, middle school sweetheart after being separated from him for about 8 years. He had a son. That's my bonus son. So that's one of the two on foot. And then we actually I partially raised him since he was 3. And so as I got married with this man of this love of my life, the soulmate of that God I felt chose for me, I would go ahead and continue on and be that great wife. But I was also passionate about some other things to find along the way. And so it would become 3 years or so after I got married to my husband that I would encounter a breast cancer situation. And I'm not sure about you, but to go through your life and you just got married, you're ready to start having children, planning your life, the 2-story house, the picket fence with the husband and the dog and the children. Yeah, that was the vision that we all kind of had a vision of, but sometimes that's not how it's planned out. See, God has a plan for us when we were in the womb. So he already had the book created for us. He knew what situation we were going to get into. We just had to go through life and arrive at that point. Okay. Very strong part that I had to understand, but it took me to go through breast cancer to understand that. So this would be my first encounter with God. And so it was one of those that, I'm sitting there and this doctor's telling me you got breast cancer. The first thing you want to think of is you're going to die. My days is limited. I'm not going to be here long. I've just got married. I didn't even have children yet. So what's going on, Lord? Why are you doing this to me? And so while I'm sitting there on the table crying inside, but a couple of tears were shed, why not use the voice that came to me? And the voice would go on to say, I need you to be the testimony for others in this world to know that they too can get over breast cancer. Now I'm gonna share something with you. When was the last time you stood in front of the mirror completely naked? Completely, okay? If you haven't, I encourage you to take some time to do that. Do it once a week. Some people do it once a month. But for us women with tatas, you need to do it every month. Do a monthly exam. That's how I found my breast cancer. I found it myself. And I called the doctor, and that's when I made the appointment, was sitting there at the table. So going past that point, I would go on to go through 4 chemo rounds of treatments, lose every stretch of hair that was on my body, including eyelashes. I would have black nail beds, toenail beds, black spots all on my tongue. It was an experience. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And so I would go through the second round of chemo and I would start to lose my hair. And the doctor told me, you'll lose it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to lose it. It's going to be okay. No, literally, I left from the second appointment. It was time to wash the hair. And I mean, it was just like a piece of rug. You could just roll it back. It was just coming off. I was having a moment. At that moment, you all might remember the movie that Demi Moore was in, G.I. Jane. That was the movie that got me through. When she shaved her hair, I'm like, okay, this is a new transformation for me. I've got to shave every stroke. I've made a tear, but I've sucked it up like, okay, God, I got this. I can do this. So after the 4 rounds of treatment of chemo and 15 or so surgeries later, it's time for me to start living my life now. So I'm back on track. I'm excited. We're past this cancer now. And it's time now to start talking about having children, right? And so as I get to the part of sitting in church one particular day, I can remember like it was yesterday. I'm sitting in church and a lady walked up to me. She said, you're having issues with your back because of the fact that you're carrying child. And I looked at her kind of funny. When people get to talking to you like that, you kind of start questioning what has God told you that he ain't told me? Because I'm looking for an answer. I've been praying for an answer. I've been praying for why is my back hurting so bad? And I mean so much to where you're bent over. And this woman comes to me and tell me all of a sudden, like you're the doctor to tell me you're carrying a child. Okay, so I told my husband, I said, you hear what this lady just said? I want you to hear it for yourself. So I'm not tripping. So she said it again, and he looked at me and I looked at her. I said, hey, I don't know, but we're going to find out. Well, 2 weeks later, I was carrying child. I was carrying my first baby girl, and I was so excited. We would have the baby shower. We planned all the different things for her, all the clothes, all the family was there. And when I'm talking about for me and my husband, this was going to be the last child of both sides of the family, right? But it was interesting enough that everybody was waiting for us to have it. I mean, our high school friends was waiting. It was, y'all finally got married and da-da-da-da. It was that kind of a love thing. And so it was interesting to go through the process of that, and just excited to go to all the different the NS appointments and just say, hey, I can hear the heartbeat. She's growing. And oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. I can't wait to hold my baby in my hands, my arms. Well, we'll get 8 months, 35 weeks, and my baby had no heartbeat. I would arrive on a Monday and a heartbeat was not there. Now you talking about a heart drop, and this is my first baby girl, first time experiencing pregnancy, because I'm seeing all these girls having 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 kids, and you didn't even want to take care of the first one you had, and you let alone you want to lay down and have 2, 3, 4, 5 more you can't take care of. Why is it that I can't have kids? So I'm going through this battle yet again. God, why me? Why am I having to go through this? So after I got over the part of the loss of my baby girl, who be stillborn, Lord rest her soul, she'll be 10 this year coming up. And so it's just one of those things. It's like, okay, I've got to get this together. That was a hurdle me and my husband went through together. Just like the breast cancer, he was there for me. I mean, I had a really good support system. And so my bonus son was there as well to help me through the process. Well, I would go on to have 2 more pregnancies that would turn out to not be pregnancies. I would blow up and deflate and miscarry the other. And then 2 years after that, I would give birth to my baby boy. Perfect, 10 toes, eyes, everything, just handsome, full of just love. You could just see it all in him. So I'm grateful and blessed. And so when I tell you I have 3 children, 2 on foot and 1 on wings, those are my babies right there. And so I am just, it's just, thank God I've not looked like what I've gone through. People would, just like Matthew would say, you look like you're smiling on the outside, but I'm hurting on the inside. And I'm great at hiding things, especially if I'm hurting on the inside. But it's so bluntly that you can see it on my face, because if I'm not that sunny type of person, and that's who I am. Thank God my grandmother gave me that name. And most of y'all know the old school song, Sunny. Thank you for the clap. Yeah, that's where I got my name from. So I live to that name with a smile on my face. I greet every woman as a queen and king that they should be greeted as. How are you, beautiful? Have an amazing day on purpose. Just a positive attitude to be a positive through all this mischief you're going through in life. So it's one of those things. You might be going through pain, but God, I could be dead now, but God, I could not have a child the second time, but God. So as long as he's giving me life and strength and grace and mercy, I can still stand here going through all of that and still put a smile on my face, because I know at the end of the day, all trouble don't last always. Something's got to break, something's got to give, but I have to be faithful enough to know if I put on that armor that I'm pretty suited and I'm pretty protected, right? And so who is Sunny now? Sunny is on her way. Who would have thought that this young girl with this loud mouth is now speaking to thousands? I'm a homeowner speaker, speaking to people about home ownership. So it's amazing how I took that loud mouth, popping gum. I still pop my gum though, because that's my thinking strategy. But that loudmouth girl is now this person that is actually utilizing her tests as her testimony to ensure that you too can get over these things, right? So as I continue to grow through these things in life, go through that book of life that God has created for me, I now understand that I'm at certain points where I need to go back and reference to him. I need to go back and get some help from him. And if I can get it from him, sometimes he's going to send it to you by a person. So like, I'm going to back up what Matthew said. You can grab a hold of your sister's hand and talk her through her situation. That's me. I'm that sister. I want to hear from you. I want to show you, I want to walk with you. I want to share with you how you can get over this. But you got to have a positive thinking on out life for that situation, because you might be thinking all the negative stuff. And you can't think about the negative, because you need to think about the positive. You need to turn that negative and add another stripe on there and make it a positive, right? So I am now a proud owner of 3 running businesses. Through the pandemic, my husband and I opened up a cannabis dispensary here in Oklahoma. It's really what got me through breast cancer. Most people say, well, it's a drug. Well, let's go to your medicine cabinet. And if I find something that's over the counter or prescription, that's a drug. It's just something that will kill you over time if you take too much of it, right? So we educate on microdosing, and whether you want to smoke it or inhale it or drink it or eat it or however the case may be, it's there and available for you. right? And so I would go on to asking people, just be mindful of those things, right? And so as I would go ahead and prepare for other businesses like the podcasting, like the real estate, those are some other things that I have taken on in this lifetime. And truly, a blessing. Years in real estate has been the best thing for me, right? And so now I'm in a point where I'm getting ready to become broker. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then, of course, it's one of those things that you've got to press play on your purpose. You have got to press play on your purpose. You cannot sit still and idle. So that's the topic that I want to share with you tonight is do not sit on your purpose of what God has for you. And so the first thing I want to talk about is fear. Okay. Fear is what I would like to have an affirmation for: false evidence appearing real. That's fear to me. So I had to learn that manifestation isn't magic. It's reflection of the relationship you have with your own energy. So let go of those fears and step out into the power that God has given you to step forward in, right? The next one I want to talk about, it is doubt. You have obstacles that are what you see when you take your eyes off your goal. You have to keep your eyes on the prize, right? I don't see a point in willing on what you could have. We can either make it happen or chase a better opportunity, right? So you got to make sure that you see it. Don't have no doubt. What about procrastination? A lot of us sit on our vision. You're sitting on that book. You're sitting on that business opportunity. You're sitting on an idea that you just thought should be written off. Well, hey, I don't want this. I want that. Okay, well, if you took it to God and pray about it, then you might have an idea of what he really wanted you to do to begin with, right? So it's amazing how we don't take those things into consideration. We just want to go about life and just live and walling and dealing and out here trying to figure it out. No, go to God and ask him, what is your purpose? And when he gives you your purpose, you now know what you need to do with it. He's telling you the things that you need to do this entire time. Some of us want to sit back and be like, oh, well, he gave me this and he told me that. No, he's going to give it to you. When he gives it to you, it's going to all flow seamlessly without any issues. So don't be procrastination, right? Write the book, start the podcast, open the book, open the podcast, open the business, start the coaching business, entertain that thought for a moment, right? And then, of course, I want you to have faith. I'm going to read this to you, and it says the purpose, pursue your purpose. Have you ever thought, what is my purpose in life? Each of us wants to feel we have a purpose, that we're making a meaningful difference in the world. God has a purpose for each of us, and that is to do right and glorify him. So how do you pursue your purpose? By getting up each and every day and putting God first. There are many other things that can chase after your job position, education, relationships, money, material possessions, and so on. But too often when you attain these things, your life is just as empty and unfilled as when you started, right? So I have a few points that I want to share with you. Let me get to those points here. My apologies, you guys. So my first point is to feel unsettled because you know you were meant to do so much more. Do those things, right? Do those things. Hello. Hi, how are you? Awesome. Give me just a second. I'll be right with you, okay? Thank you. The second thing is, can I give you a vision? In 6 months, you'll be sitting in your new car outside your new home, admiring your six-figure bank account. Claim it. Don't sit on the vision, claim it, right? You got the magic in your bones and gold in your soul. Don't let anyone treat you like you're ordinary. I have a saying, it's got to be in you, not on you, right? Never forget that you carry more love, strength, power, and light than anyone trying to bring you down. Turn that pain into power. And the sixth thing is, let your peace be more important than proving your point. Sometimes it's best to just walk away and have silence, right? Your situation changes when your words change about your situation. Words have power. So speak life, speak highly powered things over yourself. Everything is energy, and that's theirs, and that's all there is to it, right? Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality, okay? So in closing, I want to make sure that you, as you begin your journey to press play on your purpose, set your faith to align with God's amazing plan for your life. He has designed a unique path for you to follow that you will lead a destiny filled with success and prosperity. I am Sunny Ponsil. I would love to connect with you. I am on LinkedIn under Sunny Pouncil. You can also search on my website at iamsunnypouncil.net. I'm truly grateful to be sharing a space with the queens and king that has been on this platform, and truly grateful for Tina for sharing me and thinking of me to share my story with you all. I thank you so much, and God bless you guys.
Thank you. That was great. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming on, actually coming on and sharing your story and speaking. I got a lot of jewels, a lot to take away from this Girls Boss experience. And it's time for us to boss up and to become the awesome women and men we are, and show the world that we too together can strive to be stronger and better. I hope that y'all enjoyed yourselves. I am going to play the music after I figure how I'm gonna do it. Y'all can leave, or y'all can listen to the songs, or just put it on and listen to it if you want to. Not required. I'm just saying that you can if you want to. And if anybody have any questions before I do that you would like to ask any of the speakers, or make sure that y'all put y'all links and stuff in the chat so people can follow you and look you up. And I'm so grateful for y'all, each and every one of y'all. I hope that we can do it again and maybe bring more people on and a bigger audience, because I hope to grow it bigger and better. I just want to include anybody that wants to come again. It's just going to be a yearly thing. So if you want to do be on the summit again, and we'll get better each time and grow a larger crowd each time. So I'm just grateful for all of you. If anybody have any questions for anybody, you come off and mute.
Thank you, Tina.
You're welcome. Do anybody have any questions for any of the speakers?
I just want to say I've enjoyed every speaker that you brought on tonight. There are some powerful speakers, and I've really enjoyed everybody's story. So thank you for being brave enough to be on here tonight, because it was very powerful. And Tina, you're the one who brought us together. And I truly appreciate the fact that you gave me the opportunity to be a part of this summit. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Glad to have you. Does anybody else have anything? Not, I will share my screen. Y'all can share the webinar. Y'all can make sure y'all follow each other and share your information. This will be recorded, and you'll be able to listen to it. Listen to this, okay?